these VCs, their whole MO is how do we separate people from their capital, and beyond like separating people from their capital from a capitalistic standpoint, like how do we get them into the ecosystem, or even by breaking them off or getting them in, like there's gonna be probably people that are giving away free polls, right? Or it's just like, how do we get them in and just become Hexkins or become interested in the platform and like participate in the ecosystem? I really do believe that like NFTs on Pulsechain are going to be like, if you can be a first mover, and like the name of the game is to bring in Pulsechain, like selling anything for Pulse at low valuations, you'll see those multiples, and you don't necessarily have to go bring in fiat if you can potentially print it. I mean, that's how I did it in NFTs and Ethereum this year, and ETH was at between $1,700 and $4,000.
Well, I think first off, we gotta leave the Playboy mentality behind, because that's a bunch of bullshit.
No, I disagree. It works.
You don't you agree or disagree?
I disagree. Sex sells.
Leave the Playboy mentality behind.
Go rewatch Mad Men. It's like that's the way marketing works.
No, I understand where it's at. Okay, but I don't agree with where it's at. I think that women should be treated as equal as men.
Yeah.
And
it's their bodies and their decision, right? Two, like sex sells. I mean, it's one thing if I'm sitting there telling them to do it, it's another thing if they're choosing to do it. So
you're right. You're right.
You go tell Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner that they shouldn't have put out a sex tape. It's like, that made Kim Kardashian into the most recognizable female in the world. Whether I agree with the strategy or not, I think that they're doing all right. And like you look at some of these girls on OnlyFans, it's like, especially in this economy, like they're making millions of dollars, and they're not harming themselves.
But how is that helping? How is that helping out any of our ecosystem today? Like you were saying, I'd like to bring more women, find a way to bring more women into the the state, and it's not through sex. And if that's the only way in,
I think it's how do we bring the 80 to 95% male dominated ecosystem in, and I think that they will follow women.
How about producing a product that works, is efficient, and is better than anything out there?
Yeah.
They don't sell Clorox with sex.
It's boring, though.
It sells because it works.
DeFi is boring. Like, no one's, I mean, like, sure, we can sit here and Stake HEX all day, but, I think that to really go full network effect, like, there needs to be all avenues can be explored. I don't think all full male dominated communities are it. I think there needs to be an even kill, and that's why Richard's doing it. I mean, fast cars and all that stuff's one side of it, right? But like, if you create a community, like all these like NFT projects have like events and stuff, right? You show up these events and it's a bunch of internet guys. I'm like, it's not really it. We're gonna bring the NFT. We're gonna bring the NFT community over. Like, what? It's just engagement, I think, how do you keep people engaged? Like what's gonna run on Pulsechain? Like we want NFTs to come over. How do you get the NFTs to come over? Well, you allow people to have the low fees, make money.
Another thing that also sells, anticipation. And I feel like, yeah, and I feel like that is something, he's also, I don't know what he's doing, but I feel like that's something this time is good because we can gather and inform more people about this chain. And when it does launch, there will be those that, will have that buy pressure with those that come in uh, post bridge.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's an amazing product, right? It's gonna do wonders. But when we even like argue with these guys about like Ethereum's merge and like it's still not gonna be able to take like when Vitalik says that like non-financial use cases for Ethereum are not it, right? It's like he's almost expecting those to go someplace else. So they could go to the ZK rollups and L2s, or they can come to Pulsechain. But a lot of that, artistic, degenerate sort of energy is going to come over, which is fine. I mean, we want people to come over and see their tokens and play with them and use PulseX. Like, I do think that we can make it sexy and fun and young, right? Like Instagram and TikTok generations, all about dancing and sex appeal, like that's social media. Like Meta is now partnered with Polygon, so NFTs on Instagram are going to be on Polygon. So people are going to start to make NFTs. I think the sex sells. And I think that's what Richard's doing too as a founder. He's being a rock star. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I mean, it's formula has worked for generations. And the best network that's deflationary that we have 10,000 to 1 against. Like, how do we incentivize people to like mint NFTs on Pulsechain besides the fees, right? Like people could go mint on a Polygon if they want, but the value's not there. But if you get the right people on the network and they're like, hey, come slide over, come buy this, come check this out. We're partying over here. I think people might follow. But you have to you almost want to give the first mover advantage to the women, allow them to get in first or create a platform or a group or something, a club, right? That's why I think like I'm purely brainstorming here. I'm just kind of like talking about it. So but like by creating like the Heartbreaker Club, right? It's like it almost creates this thing where they can kind of create a safe space, create their art, and then bring in all the guys that are kind of following them already and trying to interact with them. Everybody's just like in these threads and like they're all shit posting. They're all like making fun and having engagement. Which is fine, but how do you like steer them to the chain? It's almost like on that BBS I was talking about, like people can buy your tweets wonder if there's a way that people can like buy support, like the thirst traps or whatever. A lot of these girls I post too, like they're not like being over sexual. Like they're actually really intelligent women that are working on DeFi apps and other games and things like that. But they're beautiful, so they're posting selfies and getting the engagement, getting the followers. Like, how do we turn a little bit of that engagement towards Pulsechain? We almost need to incentivize or like create something where it's like, hey, the first however many people that come here and post, get some polls, or open a tip button in polls or something. Because I'm not getting paid on it on Twitter for posting, Nor do they want half of them probably want to set up OnlyFans. Like I know a lot of these girls are gorgeous, are studying for their masters, and we run a lot of these companies and stuff like that. And they can bring those brands over as well. You got to get them invested, especially in a bear market. Well, like another question: how do you reward somebody for like actually getting top engagement? I guess that could always just be gamified by bots and stuff.
Do you believe someone shouldn't get benefited for top engagement?
Depends on what they're selling.
What do you mean top engagement, if you don't mind?
Well, I mean, I probably tag Hex 50 times a day. And it's pumping my bags. Like, I mean, that's the thing too. It's like some of these like anti-social sites, like you can almost like buy someone's tweet and stuff. I don't know why you would, but that's kind of the model they're going after. Like Instagram they're the ones that are getting paid for your posts, your engagement, right? Like you might rack up 100,000 followers, but the only way you're making money is if you're bringing in deals from brands maybe you don't want to show. If you spend thousands of hours engaging with people, shouldn't you be compensated for that? I mean, you know, any of these social platforms are the ones that are turning around and making the money, and they're worth billions. So in a decentralized social network, how do we give that value back to the individual that's spending all day on it? I mean, we spend all day on this chat app. I spend all day on Twitter. I can pump my bags, but what's the ROI if you don't have strong bags that are going up into the right?
So, I mean, there are ways people or influencers get rewarded. I mean, it, some look for monetization, some do donations, and it's up to the person obtaining the information if they understood the information and it benefited them and they offered to give them money or whatever, they could. But I see with decentralized research, we do need to have a decentralized location where we can all come to and get informations and people can actually put their information out there and have the people decide from there.
I have an interesting conversation we're going towards. Like, could Pulsechain have its own social network? I mean,
Yeah, there's social networks already, being built. You just have to look at it, look around. Um, there are social like something that's replacing Telegram. I've heard about. There's a lot of things that you can just look into. Just go to Google and find exactly what you're looking for.
yeah, well, I'm saying for Pulsechain specifically. Right? I mean, obviously, these things take a lot of money, time, and they need to catch. I don't know what a social network on the blockchain what it looks like, but I guess it's giving power back to the creator. I mean, that's what NFTs have done, right? So like you can monetize the NFTs, you can open up a tipping channel. I guess the question is how do you reward engagement, or is that only something that you have to monetize? Like the same way you would stake back in the day to secure a network. Like, could there be early kind of influencers that are getting paid off a faucet to interact, or I guess you can even do it through like positive engagement. I don't know. Because a lot of NFT Twitter, crypto Twitter, it turns dark, man. Like Gary Vee's always talking about like preaching positivity and stuff like that. People get ruthless. I mean, me included. Unfortunately, it's like the shit posting gets the better engagement. So it's almost like the algorithm is.
So, hey, let me ask you this: do you believe that if someone's giving information about a coin or a project, that they should get compensated for it?
No.
Okay. Aside from the coin, if someone was to be giving information about fundamentals and, just proper security and proper um, structure and ways to use crypto and how to maneuver in crypto, should they get
Well, I think it might actually be pushing into a legal situation where you might, like, if you compensate people for financial advice, that might be
no,
illegal.
no. Aside from coins, or tokens or money, just fundamentals, just proper technical, just how to use security ins and outs. That's all. Like
I
those types
think
of things.
if the metrics are showing that you're getting X amount of volume and X amount of engagement, and you're consistent, then yeah, I think you could be compensated. I think it would have to be like analytics based, but why not? I think it would then incentivize people to post more, and I don't know, maybe if there was a positive versus a negative. All right, like, well, I wonder. It's also a social experiment where back in the day, like, I think they probably took away the thumbs down. Where it was. Maybe it was Instagram, right? And they only have like the positive reinforcement for likes and stuff. Like you don't have dislikes like you do on Reddit, right? But Reddit's you have upvotes and downvotes. So you could upvote things and then reach a certain level.
Okay, because I mean, it also does open up to, others doing the same thing and, you know, doing the same thing and actually giving wrong information and trying to look for the same thing as how the next person did. And it opens up doors to now there's a bunch of information that's scattered around and then it has to be um, filtered and searched through to get the right one. Now, I think what you were saying earlier was, should we have? I think I don't know if you were getting to that, but I believe like decentralized social platforms should be, available and they should be on Pulse, and I think that's a great idea. But that's a good scaling
And
issue.
it could be a different token, right? It doesn't need to be a pulse chain that you're going to reward pulse chain, but it could be, an incentive token. It can be a whole different sort of thing, right?
Well, it doesn't have to be an incentive. It doesn't have to be a token. It's
I
just
mean,
a
like a meme
platform.
token.
It's just a
Well,
platform.
you have like Pulsers or whatever, and these other like third parties. You could create your own token that becomes, that social media platforms. That's what you're getting kind of rewarded in. Listen, I'm literally just 11 o'clock, like riffing and thinking out loud here because it's quiet in here. I'm just brainstorming.
I hear you, man.
I've gone through a bunch of these different social media things, right? Like last year, 2 years ago, like pre-NFTs, pre-crypto, like, I wasn't on Twitter, wasn't on Clubhouse, wasn't on Telegram. It's a pretty heavy Instagram user. A lot of crypto is obviously going to go back towards Instagram now. So, with NFTs going over there, Meta's all in, right? So, like, that whole demo is going to slide. I bet that they start to compete with OnlyFans and open up different channels and tipping and stuff like that in crypto, which will just create, more individuals that are interested or savvy. And who knows? Maybe they can set their token of preference to Pulse. They know what they're doing. And they can sit there and stake it. But I think we could benefit from making this as sexy as possible. Like, if we're making the Lamborghini of chains, like, this should be fun and hot. And, like, I'll put together some events here in New York and invite the right people, Obviously, everyone's welcome, but I think there's a way to create that, make crypto and blockchain sexy, right? Like, I live by Kalik, but he's kind of our wizard, right? Hutchinson, academic, Do Kwon, Rect. What else we got? Satoshi, non-existent. Richard Hart, out there, sending it. So that's also why I feel kind of like okay saying it. I'm like, all right, well, if we're gonna go this direction, let's make it sexy and cool. Nothing about this is sexy right now. It could be. Because I definitely see plenty of sexy individuals that are interested and they're trying to get the engagement and participate. But it's also kind of surface level. But everyone's still learning and like still getting the basics, right? I think with NFTs and with NFTs have been able to allow people to learn about DAOs, learn about staking. All this shit's boring. It's not sexy, but you can make it sexy. Mm. Celebrities are all hanging out anyway. They want to get into it. It's also one thing when we're in the middle of a bull run because everybody's interested, and then as soon as we hit a bear run or a bear market, people are like, "Do not bring up crypto. Do not bring up NFTs next to me." But I think the more we kind of level out with the volatility and people see that there is a good store value or this is the new internet and there is still a bunch of opportunity, then they're not going to want to be the last ones in. So we shall see. I'll see like a lot of like EDM DJs and whatnot, like they're interested. And every time I like see a new DJ that I don't really know, I'll go look at their Instagram, and they're playing in front of 8,000 people, you know, and they're younger, but that's always going to be an age group that has higher disposable income, or I think will be a little bit more risk adverse because they have plenty of time to make those decisions. Right? No kids, no wives, no girlfriends. Maybe their older brother's into it. Maybe they like playing these new games that are on it. They can go and earn some stuff. Plus, they're the ones that are going to have the most. I mean, being young in this country, it's like, good luck buying a house or anything. So people are looking for sound investment and some good things. I don't know, after Pulse and Pulsechain, like how many projects you really think are going to come out where it's not fully VC backed, or these institutions have their hands in it. The fact that they're frothing right now and trying to get in, like, who else has the time and money to get out in front of them because they have all the time and money? Richard's got it. Done. Ready to go. Like literally in front of the wave. Don't know how many more big brains there are like that. That won't just get to the VC world. The VCs will come and offer you $1 billion. You're not going to take that? Oh, there's some really smart 20-year-olds. So that guy Sam can create FTX. I think there's probably some really genius 20-year-olds out there that are ready to.
How old is Vitalik? Like mid-20s?
Yeah, I think he's got to be in his. Well, actually,
The dude's an alien.
How old was he when he launched Ethereum? He was a teen, right? Yeah, he's 28, so he's not even 30.
Yeah, 28.
Right, so he was 21 when he launched Ethereum. Yeah, I mean, he's still born in 1994, like that's a 90s baby. So, Hodgkins, damn, that guy I thought he was way older. Charles is 34.
He's like an Einstein clone.
Einstein?
Something. Those guys are freak.
Really? What?
Vitalik. He's like half alien, half Einstein clone.
Definitely.
Wicked smart. You
Wicked.
can just tell when he talks. He's thinking faster than you want to.
Yeah, Elon does that
consistently.
too, right?
It doesn't stop though. His RPMs are always revved. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's really good at like having an answer to a question that's not even being asked, and then like comes back to your answer, and then already has the answer to the next question. I like his Lex Friedman interviews. Maybe there's only one, but it's like a strong 2-hour video. And he's also not perfect, right? Like, I think he's got a lot of pressure on him. I think he'll figure it out, but not before Richard Hart comes out with a very strong product.
Yeah, I think he's got more puppet strings attached to him. I mean, and being as smart as he is and coming up with something as huge as it is, he's definitely got strings being attached, because like you said, he can't do it all himself. He's a young kid and he's smart, but there's a lot more experience out there taking advantage of him at the same time, probably.
Right.
Strings are being pulled.
And that's a hard decision to make, right? Like he wanted to be first to market, first mover advantage, got it. But I bet he probably wishes that he had. And you see that Richard pivoted towards that. Like, he's got his devs. You do not know who they are. He will not give you their names. You know, he's got the OA. He's making strong business decisions. He's not the top anybody.
And you break through technology. It's not usually the first. It's not usually the second that improves on the first, or you know, it's usually the third that sees all the ins and outs and just bang.
Yep. So damn sure. I'm here for it. And I can't believe that he's taking the full decentralized, or trying to be as decentralized as possible. So all these VCs are grabbing, bro. They're pulling things into their court. They're buying these apps. They're buying MoonPay. You know, first one's in on Coinbase. First one's in on.
Yeah, they want to be the middleman, right?
Yeah, they own all of it. You know, and they did this really sneaky thing where they didn't really, like, they were like around, right? Like, Andreessen was around, you know, like they were in on OpenSea, but they steered a lot of that, man, right into their funnel. There's some competition.
Being the middleman is just like the greasiest, no risk. You know, they lose all your funds and they're not responsible for it, and like all kinds of shit. Just like, of course, they would want to be there.
Yeah, and they're just racking in the fees. Like the NFTs that are coming out right now are just such hot garbage. And we all know it's a fucking joke, but people are just degenerates, so they're buying whatever. And that's kind of how, like, NFTs, like, even the Bored Apes, right? It's like they were fucking ugly, or people were like, this is the dumbest thing ever. That's what ends up, like, being like the GameStop and the, you know, the fuck you. So, like, that type of, like, reverse meme world, like, wins, and then people see, they're like, how is this worth this much money, right? Like, that's how NFTs became so insane last year, which is a weird reverse double speak, double think thing, right? And the music will stop, right? The liquidity will dry up and people will move on to the other thing, because these things are very flash in the pan. The only reason the Bored Apes really took off is because they got the VC backing, because Andreessen and Cryo, like, they're heavily invested in Coinbase and these different apps. They have hundreds of millions of dollars, so they need a Mickey Mouse front runner to teach people about the DAOs, teach people about staking, even though they're just creating, like, the ape coins, a duct tape token, like Richard says about those things. It's like, all right, they said it's going to come through with the metaverse game, and I'm a day one Bored Ape, and I fucked the shit out of them just because I don't subscribe to the VC takeover. I'll take the money, right? I'll take the airdrops, but I'm just rotating it all into Richard R projects. And I don't know, when I first bought into it, I thought I was kind of naive to think that, like, NFTs could be this, you know, creative marketplace where creatives finally have an opportunity, and they do, right? And the more it became oversaturated, the more difficult it became, but it became really greedy, really scammy, really fast, and just rug pulls left and right, and scammers coming in, and everyone getting fished, and, you know, 200,000 to 1 million people got a quick crash course in cryptocurrency this year, which is good, right? But it doesn't come with its own risks and downsides.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the immaturity of the whole thing. It's a social experiment. Like, people are going to buy pictures and trade them, and that's just the essence of, like, trading cards type, whatever. NFT in the essence is just a, you know, certificate of an asset. So yeah, your car, your house, and everything, you know, will be put on blockchain. And like we all were talking, I heard you guys talking a lot about it earlier. You know, getting access to something. You can rent that access out, like, you know, whatever your membership is. Maybe it's your gym membership. Maybe it's, I don't know, something you can rent out. All kinds of stuff it's capable of. So,
well,
yeah, just the JPEG community is just, it's nuts. I can't bring myself to go with it though.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, bro. If I wasn't in it early, like, yeah, I knew I needed to be first mover advantage.
JPEG apes, that's what I'll call them. You had to be the first. That, like, yeah, you got to be first to it, right?
Forget the apes, dude.
I'm just saying in general. I didn't mean Bored Apes.
No. But I got airdrops from ENS, right? I got 5 figures given to me by ENS just because I bought some ENS domains and set them up in a wallet correctly. Like, I think this MetaMask airdrop is gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. And like, yeah, it's like Looks Rare gave us an
Wait,
airdrop.
MetaMask airdrop? What?
I think MetaMask airdrop is one of the next big airdrops besides Pulsechain, and I can see them gearing up.
What are they dropping?
It's going to be a governance token, from what I can tell. The one guy that's talking about it is Ethereum Joseph on Twitter. He's the CEO of Consensus, and he was an Ethereum.
Cool.
founder.
I didn't know about this. What's the time frame?
Yeah. The first time he really kind of started talking about it was last November, and they talked again in March. And essentially, I've been tracking with them and trying to, like, there was 2 individuals that said it'll never happen, and then he was always like, it will happen, but it's gonna be a governance token for the wallet, and they're really trying to push security. So they just tweeted today, MetaMask did, about their partnership with some sort of back-end security firm where they're directing, if you've ever been scammed, right? Like, with it, all these platforms, they're all actually talking and trying to isolate some of these, like, scamming cells, whether in North Korea or in Europe somewhere or wherever. They're trying to get a bigger picture of, like, where it's coming from, and so MetaMask is pushing governance and security really hard. So they're trying to actually create a customer service backend where they can get a bigger picture, because it's all trackable on chain, right? So if they just start to put that all in one database or whatever, they can actually start to sift through it and probably get out in front of it a little bit more and create some rails, right? And then if they need to then partner with government officials, they have the information and can actually walk them through. But a lot of these platforms and companies, Coinbase, MetaMask, OpenSea,
Yeah.
they're
So
all
are we talking like fiat onboard and ramp or anything with that? And what was that guy's name? Twitter.
Yeah, it's I think it's Ethereum. Yeah, Ethereum Joseph, and his name is Joseph Lubin. He's the co-founder of Ethereum and the founder of Consensus. March they closed a $450 million finance round. So Series D, like, they got some capital.
You said Joseph Ethereum. I can't.
I'm sorry.
I've seen Ethereum, Joe.
Yeah, Ethereum Joseph. And his name is Joseph Lubin. He's the co-founder of Ethereum and the founder of
Joseph Lubin. Tell me how to spell that.
Joseph, Joseph, Lubin, Lubin, and his handle is at Ethereum Joseph.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah, sure.
So Consensus is
created MetaMask, and they were like they're in Brooklyn. They were like crypto Web3 like incubator. They created MetaMask, and then they created some other companies. But if anyone's interested, you should go look at MetaMask's Twitter and scroll down a little bit. Today at like 12, they posted MetaMask partners with Asset Reality to help victims of scams. So, good on them. They're taking it head on. And I think the governance token will, be some sort of DAO, which will be, I think, more focused on like security and things like that. But, someone was talking before about MetaMask becoming more closed off and centralized. Unless they divide it down the middle, like, I think they'll do both. Like, I think they're going to want to try to stay DeFi. I think they're going to want to protect their users and allow it to be,
Yeah, that's going to come with like registration with them or something. Trusted.
Think so. I don't think
things.
We're going to have KYC. I don't think we're going to have to KYC. I think that defeats.
Well, I wouldn't say. I say the projects that they facilitate would have to, but then you'd think like, why would they do that if they would cut, you know, some of their business off even if somebody's getting scammed, but that's the purpose, you know.
Yeah, the whole business model is built on anonymity. And they've talked about it in some of these podcasts that I watched. They're like, that's what we do. Like we don't want your information, because if anyone ever like gets that information, like then that's on us, you know? It's easier for them to not deal with your information, you know.
Yeah, what about like an NFT though that identifies you? I mean, well, you got your wallet, I guess, but
yeah, I mean the only way that you can get identified here is if people are tracking the chain back to an exchange, and then the exchange has your information, and then that can get subpoenaed, right?
yeah,
But beyond that, no one really has
decentralized.
information. Back in the day, there was like a ledger hack where they hacked the company and got everyone's addresses.
Oh shit.
Right? That's fucking scary.
So we don't want KYC, but we want know your project, know your DEX, know your website.
Look, you're KYC'd all day, right? Your phone is tracking every single move. You even probably give permissions to apps to fucking track you, and it's just a calculator. So I'm not saying you do those, you know, rude, but people do, right? So you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to KYC, I don't want to pay taxes.
Well, I mean, it's a browser extension. I mean, I mean, your browser's tracking you. I mean, sure, there's some tracking going on of what you use with MetaMask and what sites and all that.
Yeah, so you know, at the end of the day, they'll catch up, right? I don't the as far as taxes goes, like the IRS is just they want you to report, because I don't think that their technology is ever really going to catch up, but the agencies will catch up, and there's plenty of like, even like Coinly now can like track what you're doing. So
oh yeah, I'm amazed what they've already done to be able to account for all that. It's what a nightmare.
So I'm up for it. I really just want a MetaMask airdrop before Pulsechain launches, because I will just throw it all in. Even though, based on the airdrops that I've had this year, I feel like, and I've done pretty good selling the tops on all of them, especially governance tokens. Like I sold ENS airdrop at $80 a token. It's like under 10.
What do you wait a year, or is it just like right out the gate?
I wait for the initial pump and for other people to buy it too.
Yeah.
You might see it dip at the beginning, but then there's usually like one more pump as people claim and they see it going up, so they're holding. But then you really got to look at the market cap and like, what is this thing doing? Then you have to look at like comparables. Be like, I don't know. Like even when Ape was at like $27, I was like 20 billion market cap. I was like, what does this thing even fucking do? And I was in the community. I got given this shit, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. So it's gonna be hard under 10. It's like at like 6 or 7. So you know, it's a heavy drop. And there's a lot of people that were so bullish and just stuck in UBD, and they're just like, this is going to 50. I'm like, this is where you sell. People don't really know.
Yeah, do you want to hold for 2 years or sell now and grab some more and hold?
I think I'm buying Richard Hart projects, and I will die in that fucking rock for the next 3 years. But something like MetaMask could come out, and it's like, MetaMask is a great company, you know. That'd be cool. But I just don't, also like governance tokens, like DAOs, like that shit's difficult. And even if it's just a voting DAO, it's like, now you have a responsibility of running MetaMask. How many hours a day do you have to participate in that company or in that chat group, and you know, how many tokens do you really have? Like I like to just kind of stay more focused on task at hand, the project at hand.
Yeah, in life.
Sure.
For sure.
Plus, there's going to be so many tokens in this ecosystem that it's going to be good to be here from the beginning and like know what's what, right? Even the fact that we know what these third-party tokens are and where they're coming from, like, imagine the day that someone tries to show you on Pulse Doge. That's a friend.
Yeah, right. You heard about Pulsechain 2 years later.
Dude, you're Pulse Roach? It's fucking weird, bro.
You'd be like, yeah, I told you about it 2 years ago. You didn't listen.
But like, getting that props to those guys, getting out there and like making something, making some fucking tokens. This is shit. It's a mean token. Just fucking do it. They're rallying their people, you know? It takes guts, gusto, time. You want to make a token with me? Let me do that. I'll bring the girls.
Let's do NFTs. It's easier.
Yeah, that's true.
Money's quicker.
We can duct tape the token on. The token
Do
will
what?
come afterwards, right? We can duct tape the token on afterwards.
Yeah.
I have an idea for one.
Hit. Everyone
An
in here
NFT?
is signing a verbal DNA or
token?
NDA. Token.
Token.
Give me
I
what
mean,
you got.
Which guy?
small percentage goes to a wallet that donates towards like foundations or something, or like
NGOs.
just donates to mental health or
Charitable
whatever it
tokens.
is. But then there's
I like it.
Yeah. I don't know how many of them are in existence. Maybe one of you guys do.
5013C tokens, bro. That'd be tax free for everyone,
I'll tell you the way that
or a
works.
certain
Right?
percentage, maybe.
I've thought about it, right? There's this like play to earn model, which hasn't really taken off. In theory it has, and the narrative was built up well, and then Axie Infinity kind of fucked it up and kind of nuked their whole project. But my whole concept with that is like a give to earn model where you should be rewarding the first individuals that are going to give, right? So if you're willing to give right off the jump, right, like you're the one that should be rewarded before everybody else. And like those individuals, you have to kind of create something where those early givers are incentivized to like be an early one, and that maybe you can even be
Yeah,
only
that funds a project, etc., etc.
Almost like how proof of weight for hacks is like the bigger and longer you stake. Like, how about the bigger and quicker you stake, the more rewards you get on the back end.
I was thinking like a percentage of the transaction fee, which wouldn't happen on the layer 2, but maybe it could somehow match 10% of the transaction fee that costs on Pulse goes to a wallet that gets it's like the buy and burn, but for a charitable purpose.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've seen in the space that people are just full on degenerates. I think they'll do want to get back, right? But I think also we were talking before about taxes, which is boring. But like in Puerto Rico, right? You could go move to Puerto Rico for 6 months out of the year. You can, if you donate 15,000 US to a 501c3 in Puerto Rico, and you have a business that imports and exports out of Puerto Rico, so that would only like for instance, like I fly drones, right? Like I could have a drone business that goes and shoots some videos in Puerto Rico, and then I shoot some videos in New York, and then my business is importing and exporting. If you do all of that, you can pay 4% capital gains on your crypto. That's why like the guy from EOS and Tethers down there, Child Star, what's his name? But yeah, so a lot of people have been going down to do that. But I said to say, like, I think there's ways of incorporating like that angle on it, where say, hey, all right, like there's going to be people that want to give, right? But then there's also people in crypto that potentially might have to give for tax incentives. So if you can make it where it's a win-win, and if the bigger and earlier you get in, then also you're getting a cool NFT, right? And then that also has value, and then that can potentially have actual utility where, say, it's set up on, like a Chainlink Oracle node, you can start to make that NFT programmable, almost like it was like you can make NFTs like change with data, right? So like NFTs can be really important for farmers, and creating NFTs on blockchains that are just a good store of data. There was this girl, she told a story about, she worked in Microsoft years ago, and they had a blockchain project with Walmart, and they put NFTs in these refrigerator trucks that were crossing the border with a bunch of lettuce. And they found the NFT would trigger to the blockchain when it got down past a certain degree Fahrenheit. And they found that there was this truck driver or truck drivers that were turning off their air conditioner when they were crossing the border to save on gas. And they helped stop an E. coli outbreak because that lettuce was starting to go bad. So like same thing with farming, like you can set like different kind of like weather and like understand for like crop insurance, right? Like you can start to create NFTs that will help you log certain data that will get you a better deal on your crop insurance. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how NFTs get used on these like different private chains and stuff like that. But also, I think for giving back,
Yeah,
right?
it's the practicality of it, right? Yeah. Verifiable store of data.
Yeah.
Are
There's
any of you
certain
guys
applications like that that AI could use to make decisions and whatnot?
Any of you guys familiar with Terry Davis? Terry Davis.
Who?
Terry Davis, the smartest programmer that's ever lived. He wrote Temple OS.
No, Terry Davis. Oh, American programmer. He's like the first one that pops up.
He ended up going schizophrenic and then hit by a train, but
no.
That was the meme. For a charity idea.
In his name or
what?
Terry Davis.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Who?
That's his name. Terry Davis. He's the smartest programmer that ever lived.
No. Would you
Temple
do
OS,
the?
I got it.
Would you do the NGO in his name, like in honor of?
Has a ring to it. But let's say what you said was awesome, but I feel like it's oversimplified. But if there's a way you can just match, you could calculate the transaction fee and put 10% of any transaction fee anytime you trade the token. It gets sent to a wallet, just like the buy and burn on PulseX, but this goes to a wallet that dumps a charity upon whatever. That's the idea.
Yeah, 10% is a lot.
2, whatever it is,
Well, like
a percentage.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? If you start to take like
Like
10% of $1 million is.
Well, I mean, on Pulsechain, it's not. It's a penny. You know what I mean? So, whatever the percentage is, the mechanics are what's most important, and if it can even be achieved, is if you can write something that, it calculates the gas, and then it takes 10% of that and takes the funds and puts it into a wallet that donates. So I don't know if that's.
I mean, you can create it. You can create a new token that does it, and even by holding that, it gives you, validation to say, hey, it's like I'm a part of the Green Party. I'm using this token. This is the token that I choose to transact with. It's like, hey, pay me in this. It's like, actually, I'm going to pay you in this, and then you can go swap it. Or I only pay in this token because it stands for this. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, something like that. I'm trying to get
goes
in touch
along
with something.
Goes along like the Richard Hart ethos, right? Like all this language about freedom of speech or freedom of movement, like putting your money where your mouth is. Like, this is the token that I choose to use. Fuck the US dollar. It's backed by war. proof of work. It's creating unnecessary mining impact. I'm going to choose this. I mean, I guess we're doing that with Pulsechain as well, but I say like there still could be like, proof of empathy.
There could be more layers added on to the ecosystem.
Oh man, this guy Terry Davis looks cool outing of him.
Yeah, I was reading about him. Apparently, he was called on by God to build an operating system.
I was gonna say that.
Temple OS.
The Mr. God wallet.
That's how you know
Mr.
Vitalik
God
and
wallet.
Elon are a different species. Terry couldn't handle it. Elon and Vitalik are up for the job.
I was reading about it. What? Tell me the key takeaways. What was he wanting to do with this operating system?
Well, he worked for IBM for some time or whatever. He started losing his mind, and then he just started writing this operating system from a Commodore 64, which is odd, and it didn't make much sense. But from what I heard, it's like equivalent to one man like building a skyscraper himself. He like made his own compiler and all that shit, and the whole operating system is under 2 megabytes. And he has a 3D flight simulator. Shit like that.
Hey, real quick. Profax, if you're there, can you pull up Super Bowl, please? This guy's hammers.
Oh boy, hype in the chat. Super Bowl's here.
Yeah, I remember him. I like talking to him.
Hype in the chat for Super Bowl. What's up, buddy?
See if he gets up here.
He's still got the hand raised.
What's up, Sadu? How you doing, brother?
Good, brother. How are you?
Good long weekend, man. We killed it though, so it was awesome.
What was your top sale, Jake?
What's that?
What was your top sale?
We made $18,000 deal. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, what kind of car? What kind of car did you guys sell?
Expensive ones.
Armada.
What's an Armada?
Big SUV.
You guys only sell SUVs?
No, bro, it's a new car dealership. We sell everything.
I got a buddy in car sales, man. Used cars are insane right now. I need to buy a new car, but I'm waiting it out.
Jake, you'll never guess what kind of car I drive. They're millionaires. I'm just gonna you'll never guess it. I have a decommissioned ambulance from 1986.
No way.
Yeah, dude. Red and white. I call it on the radar, off the radar. I live in like one of the most expensive zip codes in America, and like it's all like full on Ferraris, Porsches, and then there's just me driving around in a decommissioned ambulance. Everyone thinks that I work for the fire department.
You ought to sell it now. I bet it's worth like 2x what you bought it for right now. Used cars are up 50%, dude.
I know. I might sell it this year. Actually, it's so fun out there. Though it's like I live by the beach and shit, so I like throw surfboards in the back and like can camp in the back. But I'm tired of getting in it and like wondering if it's gonna start.
Hey, Captain, are you in California or what?
I'm in New York.
I thought you didn't even need a car in New York.
I know, that's the thing. That's why, like, that's for the beach. Right? I live in the city. Yeah, Jake, I was thinking about, instead of doing like the NASCAR stuff, I was like, I should go call my airport and see what it costs to get one of those like banners to fly over the beach. It's like all Wall Street, fucking $million billion. I'm just like, I should.
That's a great idea.
NASCAR this summer, see what it costs.
Yeah,
Right?
instead of people seeing a Bravo show, people stop and look at those
Texas
things.
here. We got some hands up if you're around, pro. We got Super Bowl wanting to hype the chat.
Protax, you still here? No.
Must be FK.
Chill Monday night though. I appreciate you guys just letting us talk. I hate when I get yelled at for not talking to people about their seed phrases.
Pulsechain, Richard Hart, HEX.com.
Anyone have any security
How to
questions?
Pulse.com. Questions
PulseMyChain.com.
are welcome.
Wagner.
Hey, Captain Mango, when do you think this bear market we're in right now? Are you thinking the end of June is what I've been hearing? What are you thinking?
No. We got to listen to smarter guys.
That'd be nice.
I think,
but historically,
talking to John all day and stuff, I think what we're going to see here is a pump, and all these noobs are going to think that they're not going to experience the first trap. They're going to get fully trapped, and then we're going to puke all the way down, and it's going to fill all the. Well, because they know these like they tried to get us down with like the Luna, right? Like there's not a lot of sellers here. People are going to pile in whatever extra retail is going to pile back in money, thinking that we're going up, and they're just going to get caught off guard. And it's going to get smoked down in like 2 big ass days. Like what? The last time we went from this time last year, we went from 4,000 Ethereum straight down to 17 in like 2 days. And so
I think Filipino said that the Blue Cross is going to happen at the end of June, if I remember correctly.
Listen, I've been listening to like John and them, and like these guys are charting, and they're like, there's one guy that said that we're gonna go to 44 cent X, which I love, right? And John says this, and I think a lot, like we've never seen a double top in Bitcoin before. I think that a lot of these institutions are backstopping this finally, and we've gone through enough cycles where Bitcoin and Ethereum are maturing. And for something like Pulsechain, you're like almost out at like the edge of like the golden ratio, right? It's almost like a coil, and at that center is concentrated in its Ethereum Bitcoin. It's made its way there, and Pulsechain is out at the tail, and it's got to go through 1 or 2 cycles to like get to that center where we don't see insane volatility. You get more liquidity into the pools and stuff like that. So, I think that they know that they want a better position, especially because they're hella long, and the way that they're talking across the board, like they could easily send it back down to their orders at like 10K and just create so much pandemonium, probably in September, October, November. Like, I think last year we were kind of saved with all of the amount of money that was pumped into the system last year, but we're due, and like the whole macro, the whole quantitative easing, and
it's all about seasonal trends
like that. Yeah, like they're gonna take it out in like November, December. It's gonna be brutal. Remember how brutal it was in 2020? Or like think back like how many Christmases we were like, fuck, I should have sold in October. Like that's gonna happen again this year, and you want to make sure that what ends up happening too, right? Is we'll see some pumps here into June, and then everybody fucking goes out to the beach and like stops trading on Wall Street, right? This is more like kind of stocks and stuff too, but I think it translates to crypto because crypto doesn't have to sleep. But I think we'll see like a pump here into the next couple of months, or into the summer, into June. Like I think that cross is valid. I think we'll see, because there's not a lot of sellers down here, so I think people will kind of come back in if Ethereum can get back up to 25, if Bitcoin can get back up above 42 and like it can climb to 50, people will forget that we were even down here. And then they'll make a lower high.
No, the reason why I asked that,
and then I'll come back down.
The reason why
I think we'll see the 12K BTC.
Obviously, the reason why not obviously, but the reason why I asked that is because Filipino and even Mando has said, he might be, looking for the low, before, so he could launch. That's the reason why I asked. I don't, but just real quick, because I can't see October, November, bro. I can't see it. I think he's gonna launch before PulseCon. I don't see us going to PulseCon without him launching personally.
Oh, you said launch. I thought you said bull market.
No,
He did.
No,
You said Wednesday.
Wait, hold on a
What-
second. I said bear market. I said bear market. I said the end of the bear market.
Yeah.
And then I said, and the reason why I asked that is because the end of the bear market would be a
He's
good
trying to
time.
time
The very bottom of the bear market would be a good time for him to launch, and that's why I brought that.
Bottom of the bear market. Yeah, bottom of the bear market and end of the bear market is two different things.
I think we all agree that Richard's going to launch it when he's ready to launch, and he's smart enough to understand. I think these 2 points in the chart. There's also a possibility that we just keep rolling. Because of the macro, I don't see it, but I think that even if we launch in one of these next pumps, and then it slides a little bit into November, I think that we might have enough gusto to keep rolling because it's going to be brand new, and we might see people have a lot of that interest where it's the shiny new thing. And even if we pump 100%, come back, 50, like we're still up 50%, So he's looking for that hockey stick. He talks about it.
So
Like he wants to launch in the
So
low and ride it
what's
up.
your
But
best guesstimate?
who's to say we can't do that? Who's to say we can't do that in July and ride it up in September when everything else is coming back? We only come back a little bit. And as everyone's freaking out and they know that there's this new project that's promising, why wouldn't they come and at least pile in or buy Hex and stake it? Or we come back a little bit, but I think there's so much money on the sideline ready to come in that they're looking for the next L1s, and they know even if they get in here on this fake out, like they're definitely going to be buying all through the end of the year, because they know on the other side of this bear, it's going to be led by the newest L1 with all these new products, and like that's the winning formula. And the other L1s will continue to win too, but they're going to have a new competitor in town, and Solana better stop.
So when do you think, Captain? So when do you think we're going to launch?
July, August.
Okay, so before September, please. Come on, brother.
Yeah. No, I do think we'll launch before September. I do. And I
What
think
about you,
Richard
Sid?
has birthday in October. I think Richard wants to be like chilling.
I'm gonna say July.
So all three of us agree before September.
Yeah. And someone who was tracking like what's being done on GitHub, I think that's a good metric, right? They're saying that there were 64 issues, it's down to like 40 something. So that's 25%, 30%. So how many more issues?
I'm gonna call it here, middle of July.
Hey, Kinetics, he's another brainiac on here. Kinetics, what do you think, bro? You hear? Kinetics, you there, brother? Maybe not. I just really believe it's gonna be before September. I can't see him doing PulseCon, without it being launching. But you never know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure most people are expecting next month, but if not next month, I'm saying middle of summer or end of summer. Yeah. Broad guess.
Yeah. Well, my birthday June 29th to do so. Hopefully, the end of June be cool.
Yeah, mine's in July. I feel good about it. Yeah, I think they're scheming with the documentary as well, like however long that takes, and film the launch.
Yeah, I think they obviously want to be part of the deal, the climax, 100%.
For sure. At least where they can get in position and drop that documentary, put it out in front of some faces right when it launches, close to it, right after.
Yeah. Hey, so dude, you sent me that link for that microphone you have, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Cool. Thank
Did you
you.
delete
it? No, I trust you, man.
Did you lose it? Consider it again.
No, I get a lot of DMs, but I thought I saw it. That's all.
Yeah, Telegram gets a little cluttered. I know what you mean.
Redneck keeps on asking me for my, you know what? So I have to delete those. Just kidding.
He's asking for what? Seed phrases?
Well, yeah, we just joke about that on here, but sometimes they get upset. But yeah, we kid about that. I send them over to him so he can put them on some titanium and then send them back to me.
Send it to you. Proofread it. Check your spelling.
He goes, Jaconator. He goes, I don't know why, but once I received them, there was nothing in there, bro. I'm sorry.
What's going on?
They got lost in the mail. I hope you kept a backup. Hey, what's up, dude?
Funny, dude.
What's the word on the streets, guys? What are we talking about?
Hey, Filipino. So I know you call it Red Cross, but I call it the Blue Cross. When is that supposed to be? Was it the end of May or the end of June?
All right. So good question. You're talking about. I'm assuming the Megadeth. The 2004.
Yeah, as much as I, real quick before you start, as much as I hated you talking about it before, now I'm interested in it. So go ahead.
Trust me, I know Jackinator. You and many other people hated on me before, but it's all good. It's all love, though. But good question. 2014, the Megadeth cross happened. All you got to do is look at the Bitcoin chart and look at when the bottom of the market was, which was 2014, and that the Megadeth cross happened. And when the Megadeth cross happened, which is the 50-day moving average goes under the 200-day, 2017, it took 7 weeks from that moment to market bottom. Fast forward to 2018 Megadeth cross. When the Megadeth cross happened, it took 4 weeks to get to the market bottom. Now here comes 2022. The Megadeth cross happened about May 15th. So it already happened May 15th. And so the chart is looking like 2018, which is since the Megadeth cross happened, it took 4 weeks to market bottom. And this one, it's looking like 4 weeks to market bottom. So it definitely happened. It's in the transition. Now, the question is it going to bottom out in 4 weeks like 2018? Is it going to bottom out within 7 weeks of the Megadeth cross? Or is it going to do something different? We don't know. But I am projecting, banking, and hoping and manifesting it is only 4 weeks from May 15th. It's 31 days. So I'm looking at the date of the June 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th of next month to be in the market bottom. I'm going to be looking very closely. The reason why I want that to happen is because then Richard Hart can go ahead and fucking, he can launch Pulsechain. Because you guys were talking about earlier, I just want to say the final comments on it. People were saying like, yeah, launching at the bottom of a bear market or the beginning of a bull market is ideally when you want to launch a fresh project if you had a choice. So the very, very end of the bear market or right when there's confirmation of the bull market. Because what happens is even though you bottom out in the market, so even though the mega death cross and the market bottomed out, that doesn't mean that we're still not in a bear market. So with that, it marks the market bottom of the bear market, but even then, there's still a few more months after to get up to a certain point until the golden cross happens. So when you hear mega death cross, the opposite is called the golden cross.
Tell us about the
golden. So once,
tell us about that. Tell us about that. You can't give us a death cross without the
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The golden cross is when the 50-day moving average goes above the 200-day. When the 50-day moving average goes under, it's a mega death cross. When it goes above.
Let me ask you a noob question. How do you find the 50 and 200-day EMA on, say, TradingView? What indicator do you use?
No, it's not on TradingView Pro. It's not on the free one, because you want to do.
You can do the 20, 50, 200, right?
You can, but you want to do it on the 3-day chart, not the 1-day chart. The mega death crosses.
Get that with the free trading. Yeah, free trading view, 3-day chart, 200.
Why the 1, 3 versus the week? Because I was listening to some guys in here before, super smart, right? Also doing some TNA. They're looking at the weekly, right? John, one of them, called that bottom really well, and still didn't buy, right? So this guy's ready to fucking deploy some real capital, which I love. But these guys are smart. They've been in the game for 30 years, and like they're looking like I personally feel like we will get a bit of a rally here. Even like what it did today was
I don't know.
Not much, but I think that we see a rally, we get a fake out into the summer, it goes sideways, and then September, October, we tank a little bit. Overall market, I mean, stock market, everyone's saying, according to them, that like there should be like a 25% run here, right? Things might be oversold. Totally doable.
Okay, so just so to answer your question, when you're dealing with TA, the people that are more experienced, so to speak, we only focus on the big plays in technical analysis. We don't look at like the hourly chart, the 3-hour chart, 5-hour chart, 12-hour. We're looking at 1, 3-day, 5-day, 1 week, 2 weeks. When it comes to charts, so the bigger plays. So with that said, again, it's not something that I'm saying. All people that actually, I don't want to say pitch, but talk about technical analysis, it's just the facts in the charts. We're not projecting what's going to happen, but we can project the probabilities that can happen. Oh my God.
Longer time horizon, I get it. Also, for all the admins in here that don't want us to be talking about TNA, it was quiet in here for a long time. We've been having a great conversation, so we'll keep it rolling.
Yeah, but crypto. Hold on, Captain Mango, real quick, Sadu. We're not talking about TNA, so let's not even bring that up. Seriously.
Oh yeah, we're not talking about tits and ass, but anyway, look, let me explain why I have a problem with TA discussions in general. I don't. In essence, if you guys want to talk TA when it comes to Hex and Pulse, game theory and trading discussions, that's okay. When one individual comes in here and holds the mic for a half hour and makes a compelling call to action to members of this chat to go one way in or one way out of some trade, and then himself does not hold any stake in Hex or any sacrifice in Pulse, that's a detrimental discussion. Does that kind of provide some color?
Yep.
Is that what you're saying, Papa? Because I felt the same fucking thing. I thought that big dump was because of that fucking conversation. I'm not going to say it out loud, but I just did. I can't believe you said it too.
Yeah, I got the distinct feeling that it may not have been directly because of that conversation, but it certainly doesn't help.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Papa, and I felt that. So thank you.
Pop, I agree with you 100%. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, 100. So pivoting off of Super Bowl was saying, so he's thinking about his TA. He's talking about, if Richard's going to be launching at this pivotal moment, we're looking at like mid-June on that projection of historical data of the market macro. So sounds to line up.
I'm liking that, Sadu.
Also, based on that last conversation, Hex is very undervalued.
The whole market's oversold, especially Hex. Shoot.
So you're saying, or was Super Bowl saying that that mega cross is gonna happen mid June, as the
It's
market
already happened in historical data. It takes last two seasonal trends of 4-year cycles. It varied. He said death cross happened 4 to 6 weeks. Once it took to get to the bottom, then the second one took 4 weeks.
Dude, I need you to do me a favor, please, sir.
So
just go into your input and just turn it down a hair. You're coming.
Oh, I can turn my mic down. How's that right there?
I love it.
How's that right there?
Well,
Is that better?
you have to go all the way down, and then also you were just stepping on someone who had a lesser of a mic, so I just want to make sure that they have an opportunity to finish what they're saying, but also I love hanging out in the chat.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, and real quick, who was just speaking, I want to give you a chance to say what you were going to say. There?
Yeah, I was answering what he was asking.
You're good. Sometimes people are really gentle, and I want to give them space.
Yeah, well, it was hard to hear that guy, Captain Mango.
I know. How does this work? We all just have different inputs on our mics and stuff? Telegram?
Well, I'm getting...
Yeah, some people on phones. I got a nice mic.
I'm on my phone right now.
It's loud.
Anyway,
So, dude,
I love
I'm
you.
getting your microphone, bro.
Whoever
Mango doesn't like it, brother. You might not want to get it.
Captain Mango. Hey, Captain Mango, so dude sounds way better than you, bro. Just so you know. And me.
Really? My mic sucks? I'm on a
No. You have a good mic, but Sadu, he's like he's on TV or some shit.
Oh no, he's got the Roadmaster 5000. That fucking
exactly. He told me
big peepee can.
I do have a Rode. How'd you know?
Bro, I've been in the industry, bro.
Right.
Sadu sounds like he's a DJ or something.
DJ, so dude.
Step on the man. Anyway, carry on. Didn't mean to kill the vibe. Who was speaking before? Seriously though, there was someone that was literally asking something or giving value to the conversation, and
yeah, he was asking
like you were an ASR.
When that
I think it's life
cycle.
Is good. Yeah, life is good. His mic's sometimes really quiet. Maybe it was him, my boss.
I didn't catch the name, but I heard him.
So, dude, what should I call you? Dude?
Yeah, dude.
Can I? What's? It's like hard for me to say. Like I can say like it's like sir, dude.
You can say carne asada, dude.
Carne asada? Dude, I love tacos, bro.
Dude, I'm Mexican. I'm Hey, Captain Mango, one of these days I'll make you some carne asada tacos, brother.
Yeah, I'm into it. I like barbecue. Man, I had a cheeseburger today. I literally stuck my head out my window and smelled my neighbor barbecuing. I'm like, what do you got, hot dogs? They're like, cheeseburgers. And I'm like, nah, it'll do. Went down there, hung out, felt cool. I was like out my courtyard. They're like, what music are you listening to? I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't have music on. They're like, what's that noise from your apartment? And I like listened. I was like, oh, that's my Telegram group. Yeah, they're on. It's like still on full blast. Nobody has any idea.
I got a joke for you, Mango. You ready?
Yep.
What does a snowboarder cut down a tree with? A saw, dude.
Beaver.
Nice. I was gonna say like a
I was gonna say a beaver.
His snowboard, dude.
blade, dude.
I think Steak and Bake's got a question. What's up, dude?
Just saying, what's up, dude?
I mean, saw, dude.
Sad, dude.
Not
Steak.
steak and It says steak and base. It's steak and bake.
Slap in the base.
Anyway, how about that Memorial Day? What's
Man,
Richard
this is
Hart doing
great.
today?
This is great community building, guys. We're becoming cooler and cooler every day. I like it.
That's
Jake
what we
and-
do.
Jake and Air, do you ever go like mudding? I don't know where you are in the country. I'm like really interested in going to like one of those mudding events that I see on Instagram, where I don't know what part of the country they're in, but they're just getting all their trucks stuck like chassis deep in mud and like enjoying it. You ever see guys doing that?
Yeah. I'm Southern California. I'm from the
You
area.
guys,
where
go
Papa
duning.
Boner's from.
You guys go duning and stuff like that, like down south or something?
Yeah, we got dunes to do. We got dunes, Captain Mango.
Dudes,
We gotta get
dude.
the dunes.
Dudes.
It's kind of cool because you could go to the mountains one day, go skiing, and then later on that evening you can go to you go surfing at the beach. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I have a buddy here who he's been rebuilding all these Land Rovers, and then he just got back from the Sahara, and like him and a bunch of dudes went out and like going up and down these huge things, and I'm just like, was it fun? He was like, it was kind of sketchy. He's like, we went with these Italian guys, and they told us that they had brought enough water, and then we flipped open the water case, and it was all just like Perrier, you know, it was like bubbly water in the desert. They're like, yeah, that really sucked. And, like people get lost and stuff, and he's just like, dude, sometimes you go up, you're going up these dunes, and all of a sudden you're just like hoping that it gets to the top, and then you get to the top, and then you're just staring 5 stories down, and you're like, you're talking about like the length of capacity and like, you know, wanting a shorter one versus like a longer one. I forget which one was better, but like you don't. I think maybe you don't want the longer one because that's easier to fishtail, right? Where like a shorter one, at least like when it starts to like slide, you can control it. It sounded insane. I was like, that is not a vacation, dude. I'd rather.
Are you from northern New York or southern? I've been all over.
Wait.
New York. I used to live in Philadelphia.
Wait, Jake and Ader.
when I was-
Jake and Ader, you're the guy. Headset, please.
What do you mean I'm the guy?
Yeah, whenever you got your mic unmuted, we get the echo comes from whoever's talking. So I suspect that you don't have a headset.
Don't be suspecting, Papa Boner.
I keep turning.
Am I correct or not? And maybe you too, Captain Mango.
I don't think
It's an easy fix, guys.
Yeah, your buds are headset on the computer.
I'm getting seduced microphone, Papa Boner, and when I get it, I'm gonna eat a hot dog when I'm talking to you. Just so you know.
Nom nom.
I'll send you my headset too,
Just
dude.
use a cheap ass headset in the meantime, so we don't get that echo, guys. Please.
Yeah.
Through that, right on.
All right, Papa Boner.
Okay.
So, anyways, Captain Mango. So yeah, I've been all over New York, brother. Are you northern, southern, western, eastern? Where are you at? I mean, you don't have to like dox yourself.
Yeah, that's all right. I live in Brooklyn, and then I grew up out by the beach on Long Island.
Nice. I used to do a lot of business up in Rochester.
Yeah, cool. It's a little bit north. I mean, New York's amazing. It's a great state.
Albany, all over that place.
I just saw your message, dude.
Yeah, New York's great. It's progressive enough where like even when we get the brunt of the regulation, like we'll still adapt and like have the best producing industry. You know, Consensus is coming out of Brooklyn. I've been to their office. And they were grinding in like 2016, 17 through the bear market. Came out the back end. The other thing too is we're so close to Wall Street. So like because these guys are gonna, JP Morgan's down here, it's like Goldman Sachs down here, Fed down here. So they're all operating out.
Hey, Mango.
Yep.
Do you have a technical background? What's your background?
Oh, I'm Jewish, so I like money. Beyond that,
Your financial background. All right. That's all right with me.
It goes with the ethnicity. Very nice.
What do you say? And beyond that, I'm a creator.
Are you Mango? Are you serious of the 13 tribes of Israel or not? Because that comment is good in one respect and would be offensive in another. So I'll ask you just one clear yes/no question: are you Jewish?
Well, I'm Mexican, Pop Boner.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was just curious who I was talking to. I have an ITSS degree. Just let you guys know, I studied security. I studied data analytics, development, all kinds of stuff. It's kind of like a consulting business IT degree.
What part are you in the United States today?
Yeah. Yeah.
You told me already. I'm sorry.
The United States of Texas.
I'm feeling for you guys right now with all that crap you guys went through, man. Sorry. It's awful.
Yep. Lessons learned.
Amen. Hopefully.
I do wish I'd studied finance more, though. I didn't have the time for it, really, with that degree. It's just robust as fuck. Excuse my language. But yeah, now I'm kind of studying hobbies and interests and stuff that I don't, know too much about. One being finance and health. I've always studied health, but I need to put in some more time on finance. With my degree comes the charting and forecasting and excelling and all that stuff with data analytics and all that stuff.
So, dude, don't
it's right
be
up.
talking DNA.
Guys, did I get the right person with that comment? Captain Mango left when I asked that question. Did I have that right person to ask that question to?
Yeah, he said that. I asked him what he was. He said Jewish.
Yeah, all right, he's back. Captain, we lost you there.
He's muted.
Hold on, let me unmute him.
You think he had to go pee?
Papa.
Captain Mango, we got disconnected there.
Sorry.
I was waiting for that answer.
You'll be happy to know that I have a headset in, and that was my Mac from 2017. It shits the bed on Telegram often. Sorry.
Right.
What was
the question? Just need to hear the answer to that question, man.
Which was what? Oh, am I technical?
No, your comment about
being Jewish.
Yeah.
Well, I think that it's fair to say
just a yes or no.
What was the question? Do I believe Jewish people are more inept to economics? Yes.
No. Are you Jewish?
Yes.
Okay, then that's cool.
Yeah. No,
I just don't tolerate anti-Semitism in this chat.
Oh no.
So if anybody says that and they don't happen to be of that faith or that religion, that ethnicity,
sure.
then I'd rather not hear it in the chat.
No. I'm Ashkenazi, Jewish bloodline goes back to King Solomon. Which I say as I say, like I've always been interested in business. I'm a New Yorker, right? Like I grew up with a very stern, business-minded, entrepreneurial Jewish mother, who taught me a lot about not saving money and not being risky, because I'm definitely having fun here in cryptocurrency, but being a creative and being able to survive and not have to work for a company or the man. I've been working for myself since I was a kid. So
right on.
Technical, yeah. And like technical backgrounds, I think it comes down more to like interests, right? Like I'm interested. Like you hear people, it's like unless they get interested in cryptocurrency or blockchain, like they're not going to spend the thousands of hours, not going to sit in these chats and wait for smart people than me to come in and talk. And so I'm constantly learning and interested, and like I truly believe in DeFi and be able to create our own rails towards the transfer of wealth that we're talking about, and real financial freedom. And I was super blessed to have been to have been born and raised in a very affluent part of New York, and privileged beyond privilege, and also saw what real money looks like. Interacting at dinner parties and hanging out with billionaires. And one of the first things that I recognized is that money doesn't buy you happiness, and you can have all the money in the world, but it doesn't mean that you're gonna get along with your wife or have a good relationship with your kids, stuff like that. So
Amen.
And also, like, there's a lot of people out there that deserve to have an opportunity. So I've always tried to get myself in a position so I can help others win as well. I think that's what Richard Hart's about. I think that's what this community is about. And that's why I find myself here. And I also have my whole background is in, I'm a creative producer, but a lot of what I do as a producer is Shep Gordon always talks about this. It's like the job of a producer is to find the money. But I also have a really strong creative arm, so I'm a good business manager for creatives, and I can kind of bridge the two worlds. And that's why I've done so well in NFTs, just because I understand the creative mindset and also the business mindset, and understand how to value things that are subjective. I have a good art history background, and history always repeats itself. even the cyclical nature of these markets, or how there's all these parallels to the 90s and the dot-com era, right? So, in software and code, like that's all super creative as well. It's the one thing that I haven't really dived into, but I think I'll definitely do in this life is coding and visualizing, design and UI and UX through code. Like I think that that's a really beautiful language, and I can speak some Spanish. Me hablo español. But the next language that I want to learn is definitely Solidity.
Right on. Good to know you. Just wanted to know who I was talking to. Was the only reason for the question. It's been nice to get to know you all.
Yeah.
Great community here. Let's do what we do. Move it on to some questions or something, right?
So, dude, you got a technical background, bro?
I do. A little bit of one.
Cool. In what way? In what department?
Oh, did you get out before I told you?
Yeah, sorry.
I have an IT degree. It's an IT for business degree. I studied security, data analytics, web development, application development, database management, all that stuff for basically anything pertains IT to business. Basically a consultant type.
Cool. Well, let's chat, because maybe there's a way that we could, sounds like we do separate things, but both necessary in building a brand new
Absolutely.
business.
Yeah.
Check
I'm
that.
down to collaborate with anyone on something fruitful and worthwhile for sure, anytime.
Well, obviously something for Pulsechain, right? I mean, that'd be so epic.
We'll start there.
First to market, man. The money is just going to come right behind us, I swear. If we do it right, anybody, that goes for anybody. Anybody that's willing to be first to market and design something over here, man, like it's ripe.
That's such a great point. Seriously.
Low hanging fruit.
Anybody first to market with Pulsechain? Are you kidding me? In 5 or 10 years?
Well, even if it fails, Jake and Nader, it's like, hey, we're building something cool, And in the meantime, if you're pulling in Pulse, pulling Pulse. You know how many of these NFT projects just rug or don't follow through, or I mean, you really want to under promise and over deliver, right? That's the formula for success, and like you want to be able to survive, especially if you put your name on it, right? If you're an anon, you're coming in and building something because you're unsure and you're experimenting, all right, fine, but you still have a duty to the people that you brought into the community, so at least maintain it to a level where you could pass it off to the lead community member and go do your next project. A lot of these founders will just pull things and then just create a new account and do a different name and stuff like that, which you see happen over and over again, which is really unfortunate. And a lot of people have a lot of Ethereum wrapped up in it, and it hurts, So we want to avoid that, but also give people the opportunity to experiment, just like not at other people's expenses,
Well, the cool thing is, to elaborate on that, is that, excuse me, and we've heard this on here many times on this chat, is projects that are dying on the vine on Ethereum because their gas fees are ridiculous. How they will, it's kind of like a flower that you haven't been watering, and all of a sudden you start watering it, and here it comes. And the reason why they're dying is because when you try to swap or buy, whatever the case may be, on Ethereum, it costs so much money, they ended up croaking. But now, on the other hand, they could come on here, instead of paying a ton of money for a gas fee, it's a tenth of a penny, even that, and now they can start to thrive. And I think that's what's going to happen. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen, and that's what I've been hearing on here, and that's what I've learned on here. It doesn't make any sense for them to stay on Ethereum. Why would you stay on Ethereum when you're getting charged 50, 100, $200, where you could come over to Pulsechain and exchange and swap for a tenth of a penny? I think when the word gets out, little by little, as it is, it's going to happen. And when it happens, like Pop and everybody else says, it's gonna be big time.
Let me say this, right? So like Instagram and Meta is gonna they partnered with Polygon to do their NFTs, right? So I think we've blocked and gated off real individuals that have real interest and real use cases for the technology by not being able to afford the gas fees and just looking at it like, I got a job and kids, like I can't pay $50 to do a swap.
Yep.
Like that's fucking dinner. So as soon as we enable these individuals to actually have the ability to experiment and play and like fail, right? They're gonna get to fail forward and like quickly realize that it's not about the barrier of entry. It's about what do you bring to the table and what do you bring to the community? What do you bring to the ecosystem? And when we support and champion these onboards, that's what we'll win. It's not that we can't get new onboards into Web3. It's that we're bottlenecked. Forget getting a wallet. Like when they come see a gas fee, they're fucked. I wouldn't be able to survive here if I wasn't one of the first early adopters where I got rewarded for being early. Like I got paid out because I spent gas fees. So like I had money to play with and even still made a bunch of mistakes and like net I'm good. But like I was able to fail forward where a lot of people like it's thousands of dollars, like college tuition. I spent full on college tuition this year on gas fees. It's ridiculous, and that's not sustainable. So I think we're not really thinking, and I tried to stop. Like there's people who spend millions. It's nauseating, So I think we're kind of forgetting that barrier, and it's been a full year and a half of it while everyone's on the sideline kind of waiting and understanding that there's a market and there's things to be done, but don't like they don't have enough room to fail. Or I see people are like, oh, I'm making an NFT, and they like do their first project, but like they got to do it on OpenSea and it's got to be lazy minted and it just doesn't really work. So I think there's going to be an opportunity here to onboard the right people, and also like we see these layer twos that are able to use like credit cards and stuff. That's why Polygon is getting picked up quicker, because you can swipe a credit card even on OpenSea right now. Like you can go buy an NFT with a credit card. Which good or bad, right? I got onboarded into Nifty Gateway through a credit card or through a debit card, and at least you get that first natural kind of swipe through and you're like, oh, I purchased something. Oh, I own this. Oh, where is this? Oh, it's got to be on here on a wallet. Oh, all right, what's this wallet do? Oh, these are the things I got to do. Let me go learn about this.
We're going to have that too, 100%. That.
Oh, for sure. Oh, I think we're going to be the back end of the whole financial industry.
Oh, yeah. And as well as it is an exchange. Whether I don't think it's going to be Coinbase. It might be crypto.com, whatever the case may be. Some people are saying a month or 2 or 3. My personal beliefs, it'll be within a couple of weeks. Again, that's just my excuse me, my guesstimation. But once we get an exchange, it's going to blow up as well, and on and off ramp.
What about the fiat on ramp? How's that going to work with the wallet or bridge or what?
I see like a company like Silvergate, the same guys that gave Sailor that $200 million for Bitcoin. I could see them because they're I don't know if it's, I don't want to say FDIC, but they have almost a contract with the government where they can be fiduciary. Same thing with Coinbase, right? So when you're a bank, you're connected with the government and like you're almost like fiduciary in a way where you can like start to become a fiat on ramp or off ramp, right? And then they're also all crypto focused. So they're more open to these types of deals, and will bank, you know, they'll bank whatever that fiat on ramp is. You need to have that. You need to be a bank to be a fiat on ramp. You need to have that tie to the government.
Could you imagine, for instance, like right now, if you want to buy whatever, any coin, you go to Coinbase, you connect your, you go to Coinbase, you connect your bank account, and you want to buy, you can't buy Hex on Coinbase, but let's just say you want whatever it is, that you say you want to buy USDC on Coinbase. You just click, connect, boom, you buy. Can you imagine when you can do that with Hex, Pulse, and PulseX? Are you freaking kidding me? Imagine how our bags are going to be pumped. It's going to be crazy, man. And it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a line in the sand. I think we'll see these stables be more and more intertwined, like USDC with Goldman and with BlackRock and with Coinbase and with the Gov, right? You'll see in England they have the. I'm kind of like watching it go over the headlines. I'm not fully diving into it because it's nauseating me. I don't really want to be inside of what all these bankers are talking about, but I literally saw a headline today where they're like, Swift will be gone in 5 years, and it's England and all of them talking about the CDBC, CBDC, where they're going to centralize the shit out of a stable coin. And their whole MO is to get, we're already digital currency. Like I go to my bodega and I have my debit card, right? Like I don't barely have cash. Like when was the last time I really carry on? If I carry on cash, like it's done in instincts. I'm giving it as a tip to somebody or something, So we're already digital, and like it's already ones and zeros in our bank accounts. And I feel like they were behind the 8 ball on Bitcoin and needed the social experiment to play out, or they were behind it all the time and were waiting for it to play out. There are nefarious stable coins, right? Like all these things don't really work. The best stable coin is going to be backed by one of these governments because they can actually back it up. If it ever depegs, they can just print more money and shove it in. I think we're going to see a really strong line in the sand, decentralization versus centralization. And you can guess which side Richard's on, and which side I'm on. And it's not the underdog, it's the other dog. And they're going to have to hedge as well. So they will have capital in both camps, because they can't take us down. It's decentralized. I mean, you can take down Tether because, eventually the New York district attorney or attorney general has already, sued them and taken them to court, and that escalates up through the ranks, and that takes time and stuff like that. But they're not backed, I think we know that. We saw what happened with Terra, and that was, canary in a coal mine, and they don't like that, and they might use those sort of things against the market and drive it down to get a better position. This is all, speculative, but they don't lose, and they damn sure don't let you front run them. So, if all these retail think that they're fucking winning at 20,000 Bitcoin, wait until it's 8, and they're buying, and you're panicking and selling to them. This is all psychops. Like it's all in play. So I'm happy to be in this project, and I feel not necessarily protected, but at least I'm interested in the innovation. I think that it can get far out in front, where even if they try to come be a part of the ecosystem, they're going to pump our bags. And Richard designed it that way. Or if they come behind us, enjoy that 10,000% dilution.
That's right, brother. If you get it,
talk about a rug pull if they could.
Go ahead, Sabir.
I was just saying that. Go ahead, man.
If you get in a Pulsechain or PulseX the first 6 months, the first year, the first 2 years. It's kind of like going back to if you got into Ethereum the first, oh my God, I missed it. People on this chat haven't missed anything. Hex is, it's a still right now. Pulsechain hasn't launched, which means you can't get that or PulseX. And then all of a sudden you have the ability to stake your PulseX and delegate your Pulse. My Lord, we're going to be blessed. If you're in this chat right now, whoever told you about it, just got to tell you, it's going to be a good ride, man.
That's it. We're gonna sell merch shirts. We're selling merch shirts. Gonna say you will be blessed. Hashtag Jakenator. It's one pulse each. It comes with an NFT. You can burn it, mint it, whatever you want. It will be. It's in the utility.
That's right, brother.
What's going on, Jakenator?
It's a great idea. Wait,
hold
echoing?
on, Filipino.
Who the fuck is echoing? Is that you, Jakenator? Did you not put in a headset? Because I put in my headset.
No, I don't have a headset. I got to go get one. Otherwise, Papa Boner is going to fire me. But seriously, it's funny because if everything we're talking about right now, Sadu, is being recorded. And for the past year I've been on here, it's been recorded. So one of these days, here in the near future, when it comes to fruition, you're going to see that it was right. That's all I'm saying. I think everybody on here agrees with me that we are going to be blessed. But don't make fun of me.
Dude, we're making the merch. I swear it's going to sell like hotcakes.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. I got
earlier. Did I answer your question earlier, Jakenator?
Yeah, bro, you did good. It was a little weird because when you used to say that mega debt, it just sounded so negative on here that it kind of like turned me off. But now that I've absorbed everything, it makes sense. So good job, brother.
Yeah,
it's like
it's just different. It's just different TA terminology, but there's just a bunch of different names. But it's just referencing the charts, And I didn't make up the names. Trust me, I didn't.
I got you.
No, I knew it, and that's the indicator. Jake, that's the indicator of all indicators. So when someone tells you that that's crossing, like you need to perk your ears up because it really is the cross. They call it that for a reason.
Gotcha.
So I was checking up some statistics. If I can change the convo, I don't know if what y'all was talking about, but let's talk about the performances of L1s. Since we have to compare Pulsechain to other L1s, unfortunately, that's all we have for compatibility.
Okay, now
right.
we can talk my language because I know the answers. Go ahead.
Okay. So, with that said, we're gonna talk about L1s. We're gonna reference Polygon, Solana, Chainlink, Avalanche. Just to name a few. BNB, Polkadot. These are all successful L1s. Would you guys say that's a true statement so far?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, y'all wouldn't believe me. So I brought this up before. I always told everybody, in my opinion, no matter what price discovery is, let's say price discovery was at 3 zeros and a 1, 10 cents, 2 zeros and a 5. It doesn't matter. I think that from price discovery, the price will never go under price discovery price. So out of every chart, I'm just gonna bring it up. I'm not gonna ask you guys any questions. But out of all these charts, Polygon, it opened up at price discovery, and then it went under price discovery 3 weeks later. Solana launched. It went up for like 5 days and then went under price discovery for like 3 months in a row. Chainlink, it came out price discovery, it went under right away, then went up, and then it went back down to price discovery price 2 or 3 months from there. and then Avalanche. It launched, and then it took about 2 or 3 weeks. It touched price discovery, and then up to the right. So every single one I said to you went back to price discovery sometime within 4 months before it never touched price discovery price ever again.
What about Ethereum? Talk about Ethereum. What did it do?
Jake, come out. Jake, listen, before Papa gets down your throat, you're not allowed to unmute unless you go get a headset, because every time you unmute, even when you want to come in, you're just tripping the whole entire wire. So please, for the love of God, go knock on your whoever's door and get it.
Captain Mango, stop. I've been on
here. Yeah, God. Yeah.
Stop, Papa.
It's just you're echoing everybody, so don't chime in, please. Just listen. What he's talking about here is actually really important. It's just disruptive.
Captain Mango, all I said was, "What about Ethereum?" That's all I said.
So let me go ahead and get right back into it, just to answer Ethereum, just to answer Jake and Ader's question, which is actually good, which is the competitive. It went from price discovery almost immediately when Ethereum launched. It went under price discovery almost immediately for the first 2 days, and then it went all the way up, and then again 2 or 3 months later, it went under price discovery, and then up to the right ever since then. So like, out of every single L1 I just said, within 4 months, it went back to price discovery at least once within the first 4 months, and then up to the right. There's only one chart that I found that was an L1 that never touched price discovery from when it launched. And would you believe me if I told you that was Polkadot? Polkadot was the only one. If you look at the origination of Polkadot's chart, it launched at 2.9 cents, and it never ever touched. It went vertical insanity, and never it never went under price discovery. So
let me ask you two questions. Can I ask you? Like, I just want to, because I'm sorry, I missed the first part of that. So you said price discovery is like launch price?
Okay, so every single crypto, whenever you look at the chart, like right now, you go on fucking coin, whatever chart, just go look at the very beginning of when it launched. So it's always going to have a price discovery price. Like every coin has it in its original price discovery price, like what it launched at, where everybody can buy it at public price. So my whole conversation about this is because I wanted to try to compare what the possibilities of Pulsechain can do, and my main concern or debate was, will it ever go under price discovery price from when it actually happens? And every single L1 has done that, but Polkadot. Richard Hart has definitely said that on record that he designed it to be different, and he designed it not to be like Hex, where there's a dip in the beginning and then going up to the right. It's designed to go up to the right from the very beginning and always. But that's just, we'll see what happens. But what I'm saying,
so wait, real quick.
Yeah,
I just had to do.
Super easy.
I just had
super easy to answer.
Real quick. I just had to Google launch day Polkadot, and it launched May 26, 2020, the bottom of the last bear.
Exactly. Now we're talking. So yes, now you just added a critique of tokenomics that might have been coincidence when it launched. But yes, Polkadot launched specifically perfectly at a timing in the bull market where it didn't have to go through any bear pressure per se. But that's a good
And there's a meme out there, and it's older Richard Hart. Someone posted, and I saw it, and it's him. It's younger. He's got longer hair, right? Not as many watches, and he says it's like a hockey stick thing. He's like, you launch at the bottom of the bear, you get the hockey stick up to the right, boom. That's when you launch. And that someone's been digging back and getting that meme.
Okay, let me chime in quick. I think it's because the VCs were able to invest in these projects, and they had mass marketing, and then when the price when it opened, they took their profits, and so these dipped, and then the whales play for a little bit, then they stabilize, then they start going up after they've taken their profits.
Well, before we get sidetracked, I just want to make sure I get my main point across from saying those
It's not
things.
sidetracking. That's not sidetracking. That's the same as Paul's going to do the same thing. Is that your question?
Exactly.
Maybe I used the wrong words before I get sidetracked. But good comment. That definitely was relevant. See, now I forgot what I was about to. Oh yeah, okay.
Sorry.
The main point I wanted to point out was nobody is late. Anybody that's new, that's still on this thread, 81 people, like buying Pulsechain and PulseX, you're not late whatsoever. People are gonna rub in on the, I got sacrifice this, sacrifice that, pricing, this and that. But buying from price discovery is gonna be the next legendary time to buy Pulsechain and PulseX. Even within the first 2 months, 3 months of price discovery. But I'm just a lot of some people be feeling like they're they missed the boat. I can tell you the boat will be leaving soon, and it's going to be sometime after price discovery within the next few months, because once
That's
it goes,
pretty cool.
it goes.
I think it's really smart. That's great foresight, and that's actually great leadership too. Like just letting people know that. So respect. I'm gonna echo that as well.
Hey, Filipino, and I know you know the answer to this question. Real quick, I want you to answer this question for everybody. I know the answer, but you speak a little bit better, so I'll go ahead and let you speak on it. Those layer ones that you're referring to, after 365 days, could you tell me what the average X's that they did? Can you tell everybody here?
It was based on the top 7 L1s, based on a year and a half of activity, and the average was about 650x from price discovery. So out of all those out of those L1s, the average X from price discovery was 650x.
Thank you. Amen. 100%.
Yeah, I saw an Excel spreadsheet today that compared PulseX to Uni and could have been Pancake or Sushi. I think it was Pancake and Uni. And so Uni did it. So like Uni did like a 24, and the other one did.
That's not an L1, Captain.
But no, I know. But as far as like X's, right? Like if you had put $1,000 on any of on either of those, you would spend that $1,000. Or no, I'm sorry, it was 10,000. It was on a $10,000 unit. So it said if you were to put $10,000 on Uni or $10,000 on Pancake Swap, you would have turned that 10K to 650K, and you would have turned 10K into $250,000 on Uniswap. And that, you're right, Jake, that's for PulseX. But he said 650, so I remembered those.
Like Uniswap launched in a bear market too, November 18th. Isn't that right?
So
Google.
Y'all want to talk about PulseX now and DEXs?
Yes, please.
All right, so let's talk about the same statistics about PulseX. Because what are we gonna compare PulseX to? What other DEXs? Okay, that's one.
Uniswap, Sushi Swap,
Pancake Swap,
Uniswap.
What else?
Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's.
So we're gonna start from there. I'm gonna just start off with the most common, which is Uniswap. If you look at Uniswap's price discovery price, you just look it up at any chart, look all the way to the left, and find out when it started. It started and it went straight downwards from price discovery for almost 2 weeks, and then it went above it for about a month and a half, and then went back down to price discovery price, and then it went back up to the right forever. So again, for some reason, what I see is it takes about four months from price discovery to guarantee and reassure, like up to the right. Pancake Swap, same shit, but it's even worse. Pancake Swap, right when it launched at 1.2 cents or $1.02 or 20 cents, it went straight down for a whole month. And it was down under price discovery for freaking 4 or 5 months. And then it went above price discovery and up to the right forever. Sushi Swap, check out Sushi Swap. Sushi Swap started at $1 and it went up to $8 immediately from price discovery. So it did an 8x from very beginning, from basically $1 to about $8. So 8x, and that happened within the first week or two, a week or three from price discovery. And then it went straight downwards, basically under price discovery, and it stayed under price discovery for 2 months, and then up to the right ever
Let me
since
ask you
after that.
real quick. What is your definition of price discovery? Where like the VC got in, where it's launching from, where it's going down underneath and coming back to?
No.
He's using opening price for price discovery. He's juxtaposing the terms.
So if I'm not using the right terminology, and somebody help me out, but whenever you look on the chart, you just look to the very left when the coin started. So there's going to be a first original price when the public can buy. That is what I am using the revenue price discovery.
Okay.
I need to add something there though. You said any chart you look at, just look to the beginning of it. Some of these charts don't have all the data when it started and everything. So make sure you're looking at the full launch and everything.
Coinbase, Nomics.
Even those exchange graphs do not have the full data set.
Well,
I will add that.
Okay, well, I was using and I was referencing Coin Market Crap and Nomics, so yes,
yeah.
One vouch for, one not
Market
vouch for.
Coin Market Crap, I love it.
I can't attest whether any chart on Coin Market Crap has the full data set either. It's been tough for me to find the full data set on a lot of these projects. So take it with a grain of salt what you're looking at, or verify it for sure.
Well, good. Well, that's why I'm just trying to, bring out what I discovered to the community. There's a lot of us here, and that's why we all like telling somebody who's wrong, right? So I'm sure people are gonna, reference what I'm talking about, and hopefully they can come back and say it was valid, or come back and say it was a bunch of bullshit, or excuse me. And you
No, you're on the right track for sure. But I'm just saying, just that critical piece of info could be the difference of making these correlations.
Gotcha.
If you check the first DEX that an asset was traded on, that should be the oldest chart that is available for that asset.
That was vague. Do you have the name of that crypto?
I guess it depends on the asset, right, KG? Yeah, I don't have the expertise to speak on exactly where to look for those early day charts.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the asset, because different assets, different chains, different dexes. But yeah, the oldest chart is going to be that first dex it launched on, because that's like, I agree with Filipino on that. You could probably call that price discovery, I would say.
Thanks. It's just the same thing, because I'm trying to relate all this back to, Pulsechain and PulseX. Bottom line is, main launch is going to happen. The AMM bot and stuff is going to do its thing. Swapping is going to do its thing. And then the bridge is going to happen. Once the bridge is going to happen, the AMM bot's going to do its thing and algorithm. And then there's the buying and selling is going to dictate when that first original price discovery is for Pulsechain or PulseX, because price discovery is all based on who's buying and who's selling and the median price. And just so that there's no effery, that's why the AMM bot and the smart contracts within it has, things within that contract to prevent, that BS. There are, you know, ways to juke the system, so to speak, but there ain't no perfect system. But you know, AMM bots are proven. They've been, you know, it's not, you know, it's nothing new with AMM bots and their performance.
So Super Bowl. Let's get past this. Let's get past this nomenclature and get back to PulseX. Did we touch on that
so
correlation?
So I cannot find no chart for any dexes that went straight vertical insanity on any of the dexes, meaning every single dex went under price discovery. So that's what I'm trying to bring up to people now. You know, so I wouldn't be surprised when PulseX comes out within the first 2, 3, or 4 months. You know, the price goes up and then under price discovery sometime within under the first 4 months.
I don't think so.
Do I think that with Pulsechain? No. But you know, I know it's totally different tokenomics. I know it's deflationary. I know we can go on for days. You're right. But like I said, I just won't be surprised. That's all.
Okay, Super Bowl. Go ahead and pontificate on what the Dexes did for the first year. I'm sure you know that. I mean, like, you know, Sushi. You know,
well, I mean, he's not saying they don't go on to do 600X. They you see they go back under price discovery. So how quick? Are we talking a week down?
I agree.
We're talking 4 months.
Captain Morgan, I agree with you. Let me finish. Captain Morgan, I agree with you. I agree with you. But what I'm saying is this: we hear about the negatives. I want him to finish with the positives.
Yeah, that's what he calls me.
All right. What were we saying? I'm sorry.
Well, okay, so the point I was trying to make is I understand. I wasn't saying that, you know, he was wrong. The point I was trying to make is he was saying what they did in the first 3 or 4 months, but after 365 days, what did they do? And I also, you know, kind of know what I'm talking about, but I want to hear what he says.
That's your cue, Filipino.
That's your cue, Filipino.
Oh, my bad. I don't remember the the X's, but I'm sure it's not going to be too hard to conjure that up. You know,
it's 500. It's 500. They average. You know, we're talking about, you know, Sushi Swap, Uniswap, you know, Trader Joe's, these different dexes. On an average, after 365 days, is a 512x. So that's the good news, guys. Because, you know,
well,
we talk about the negative, but we have to talk about the positive.
Let's do this then. So then we have a scale for 365 days. Let me ask you this, Filipino. You were talking about it coming back down under price discovery. On what scale and at like time scale? So if Jake's saying after 365 days, we go 600 for the X, do you see on your scale where that's a quick wick down? Is it the first month? Are we shaking out a bunch of paper hands and then we're moving up?
I think we're waiting for a mega death cross per se.
I thought we were going for the Jesus Christ.
Real quick, Captain, good question. Trying to stay on answer these questions, which is we'll start with the L1s, and the answer is everything is within 4 months, 5 months tops, meaning from inception time to up to depending the crypto 4 to 5 months max, where it went under price discovery within those 4 to 5 months before it went above and beyond forever.
That makes sense though, and that also plays into Jake's timeline because you should shake everybody out the first half, and then as soon as all the sellers are paper handed out, we move up with low liquidity and things start to rip, and all the buyers come in right behind it.
Amen.
Exactly.
Right on.
Don't call me Shirley.
But what about price parity? Like, how long do you think it will take before the price of Hex, for example, is the same on both blockchains?
It's a good question, Filipino. What do you think?
I'm sorry. I don't know if we're talking about the same question.
No,
like
we're not.
price parity. That's
Talking,
I
he's,
don't
talking,
know.
he's talking about
PHEX,
Hex.
DHEX.
Listen, you want
Maybe
to go
I,
ask the question again, or somebody else can answer it?
Filipino. He's talking about Hex on Pulse and Hex on Ethereum. Price parity. How long will it take?
So again, I nobody knows when main launch or when the bridge happens. There, price parity means that they have price on both. There's discovery, right? On the parity,
No, no. Price discovery and price parity are two different things.
Then somebody else can answer the question. Go ahead.
Well, a lot of the Hexicans here in Southern California think it's going to be really quick. Nobody knows, like Filipino says. But I'll tell you what, there's not going to be any inexpensive Hex on Pulse at all. Just think about it. If Pulse, if Hex on Pulsechain is a half a penny or a penny, would you not buy it? Of course you would. So we don't see in this community. Tell me if I'm wrong. That there's going to be very inexpensive Hex for very long, if at all. So price parity, I would say within a week or two. Those are just my thoughts.
Aggressive.
Yeah, from
I like
what
it.
I understand, the way it works, right? I'm trying to regurgitate what people have way smarter than me have said before, but because there's no peg, it's all pre-bridge, right? So pre-bridge, we're gonna have ratio pairing, but once bridge goes live, we will have tokens with a USD value that will get bridged in, and the liquidity in the hex pool that is on the other side of that hex pair will be almost touching that parity of that real value coming in, and that's where we'll start to get parity on. That's where price discovery comes from. It's the value of the bridged over ERC20s that are touching real value, and then that's where the AMM bot will start to also arbitrate, and that's where we'll start to see more value being added to the liquidity pool, and then that's how we'll start to see parity.
At the same time, the most liquidity that we're going to see, what I've learned on here, is going to be with Hex. So there's going to be a lot.
I think we'll reach price parity within a day, maximum 2 days. My definition of price parity is plus or minus 10% of each other. So I don't really consider it being exactly equal price because that's hard, but they'll float back and forth plus or minus 10% of each other, and that process will probably take a day.
Amen.
Wow.
Is there crypto gooses? What's beyond adding to the liquidity pool? What's the incentive to bridge Hex on Ethereum to Hex on Pulsechain? And didn't Richard talk about, like, sure, you're going to get these copies, but you're going to have to add the liquidity to get that value, unless there's other people adding liquidity.
I think
Perfect talked about, like, he won't add it because he's going to lose the money, so it's almost up to us.
I think hexagons, especially ones that have been in the system for as long of 2 years or so, will certainly take advantage of any cheap price of hex at whatever,
Exactly.
and they will not let it sit there for any length of time, even if they have to sell their other EHEX to gain multiples more on PHEX. And this is also in the name of getting T-shares. If you have an opportunity, and to me, price parity will not even be price, unit price. It'll be the T-share price, not necessarily the hex price. So people will be hunting T-share price, and if it's cheaper on the Pulse side, they will certainly arbitrage that and gap it up to whenever it's parity to the ETH price.
So there's about, I haven't looked at the numbers, but let's say there's about 100,000 stakers. It's either 100,000 or like I saw 300,000. So there might be 300,000 wallets holding Hex. It wouldn't be 100,000 staked because it's 9%. But what? So if we have cheaper fees over there, like I mean, you only get the t-shirts if you stake. How long do you think? Is a completely different question, but how long do you think before we get above 10% staked on Pulsechain? Because then the t-shirts start to actually pay out less than they do in Ethereum.
You know, I just can't see. Go ahead. I don't want to talk over anybody.
Mango, I missed your question. Could you reiterate it again?
Well, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but whatever the 10%. So I think there's like 300,000 wallets that own Hex or whatever, however many are staked. Maybe it's 100,000 wallets are staked. Whatever, 10% of Hex holders, right? Like, how quick do you think we get to above 10% staked on Pulsechain?
Well, don't forget, when it's copied, you have the exact same system state. So right at the copy, if it's 10% on the ETH side, instantly you'll have 10% on the Pulse side.
Yeah, that's true. Think about
what is interesting is as stakes end on the ETH side, what are those people going to do? Are they going to restake on the ETH side? Or are they going to come over to the Pulse side and buy Pulse and restake there? So this dynamic will have to play out based on market behavior. And certainly if there's cheaper price on the Pulse side, I think people will arbitrage it to get more Pulse. More PX in order to get more T-shares. That's just common sense if you
So we
understand.
could have the same argument that staking longer on Ethereum right now, you might be not only getting a copy and hedging, but if that in fact does happen, you'll start to get more hex per T-share because people will be ending their stakes and moving over to Pulse potentially.
Yeah, but that dynamic has to play out though. So the only way that would happen is if people actually in fact do migrate from the ETH side to the Pulse side. As that happens, the ETH side staker pool, the quantity of T-shares will go down, which in a sense means daily payout goes up. So people left in the pool on the ETH side should see a higher payout. If we believe that the behavior will be to migrate from the ETH side to the Pulse side. That won't happen forever. That'll happen until the pendulum swings too far to one side, and then it'll start to swing back the other way. And you'll get this self-balancing teeter-tottering effect until they reach parity, which is what we're talking about. And the parity will be reached relatively quickly. I say a day or two. I think it's closer to days than weeks. Only because if I know the Hex community, they will snap up cheap Hex, as I will. Any opportunity.
Cheap Hex, you say cheap Hex, what price do you think parity reach? At what price are we talking? Are we talking about 5 cents? Are we talking about 15 cents? It's way easier at 5 cents.
Cheap Hex relative to another Hex that's more expensive. So if the ETH Hex is at a price and the other side is 5 times less, it's not going to stay 5 times less for very long, is it?
Does that mean that the one side's got to come down to meet the other?
That's correct. So when we talk about price parity, a lot of people think that the Pulse side has to come up to 10 cents or wherever ETH is at the time of the fork. But that's not necessarily true. What might happen is one side will come down while the other side rises, and that's how you get your teeter-tottering effect.
Yeah, but you brought an interesting point up. It's not going to be based on like really the amount of hex. Of course, you're saying it's going to be based on like the T-share price and staking and all that stuff. So people are going to have to, put in more money to get those T-shares or whatever.
It's going to be very interesting because people will make decisions based on the data they see at the time of when they're placing a stake. So they're going to be looking at two chains with different T-share rates, different price, and different payouts. And they'll be forced to make a decision, in other words, a prediction of what side they want to be on, which will be very interesting to see how that plays out. I have no idea how it'll play out, but people will try to play the better chain. In my opinion, it's good to be on both chains, specifically for that reason. That if one side gets skewed too far off to one way, the other side will benefit in another way, either by daily payout or price.
But T-share rate will be the same,
I'm sorry?
or no? The T-share rate will not be the same between the two.
They will
It'll
only be
fluctuate away from each other.
they
No,
will
they
only
will.
be the same at the moment of the fork, and then every day after that they'll be different.
I gotcha. Thanks for clarifying that.
Some of them will move up because that is the only way it works, but they might move up at different rates. I believe they will move up, especially if we see market behavior of people moving from one side to another side in vast amounts. In addition to that, we haven't included onboarding of new people. We have over a year's worth of onboards waiting to come in who've been limited or restricted by ETH and the fees. So I believe we're going to see a massive amount of onboarding happening. And I don't know, I'm going to make a prediction, but I think if you're going to onboard someone, you're going to onboard them on the Pulse side, especially for cheap
Exactly.
fees. And the other thing is if we believe in staking, those people are going to stake. So now you have this massive amount of people on one side of the chain staking. So what happens to your staker pool? It'll go up. And if it goes up, then your payout will go down, which is okay because the fact that more people had to come into the system means that they probably had to pay, and buys equal price go up. So we're going to see all this dynamics playing out. It'll be very interesting to see all the different buttons moving up and down and everyone trying to make predictions on where we're going in the future. So these are all interesting things. But to answer the question of the T-share rate, if that were to happen, the T-share rate on the ETH side may ratchet up at a higher amount every day faster than the Pulse side.
That's a good question because I think it differs maybe between chains as well. That's why I want to ask this question. But is the consensus or the language or conversation that we want to continue to use in with onboards? Do we want to be talking about ladder staking? Is that a good thing? Like, I think it's easy to be like, oh yeah, you ladder stake, this is what you do. But like people that have actually ladder staked, like, is that cool? Does that work? Obviously, like with Ethereum, the shorter, less you do, you just get wrecked by gas fees. But moving forward into Pulsechain, do we want to continue that rhetoric of ladder stakes?
Sure, sure. Ladder stakes make really good sense when you're trying to um, distribute your investment over a long period of time. In other words, does it make sense to put a really big bag all the way to 15 years? You could make an argument for it, but to minimize your risk or to to tamper that a bit, you obviously build a ladder out to 15 years, and then you can decide on how to do that. Plus, you have to figure what your goals are. Everybody will have different financial goals, and then you can build a ladder to take advantage or to reach your goals. The ladder makes excellent sense always. Practically speaking, on the Pulse side, you will certainly take advantage of that because the fees are very low. On the ETH side, we're still having, unfortunately, a lot of people suffering that they can't end some stakes because of that. But so I think if the fees of ETH remain high, I don't know if they will, but if they remain unduly high, you could see a dynamic where the ETH side is reserved for big stakes, like higher value stake for longer period of times, and the Pulse side could be for shorter stakes and smaller amount of stakes.
Nice.
I got a question for you guys. Being on this statement about staking and all that.
You don't gotta go ahead, answer your question. Ask your question.
No, I didn't know if they're done or finished with what they were talking about. But all right.
I wasn't even looking at my thing. I didn't know it was you, dude. I thought it was a newbie. Go ahead.
No, it's because we all talk about some good content and shit, and we try not to talk over each other. But yeah. So this might be a hidden gem to talk about. I haven't confirmed it, but have you guys talked about, or has anybody brought up to you guys about the $1.4 billion that are going to be unstaked at the beginning of June, first week, second week of June? And if so, well, that's my first question to see if it's factual.
I mean, you can look on Chain yourself. You can go and look at it. I mean, it's there. My analysis is there are a bunch of 30-day stakes that are at least. I saw one that was 175 million. One was another 100 million. Like I'm stopped. I don't track these 250,000 rotating every 30 days, right? Now there are a couple that are coming out. I did see some that were 2-year stakes. Are they going to sell it these low? Are they dumb enough to do it? I don't think so. I mean, we're already at the 31st, and a lot of those large stakes were the last couple of days. I think tomorrow is actually a big one, and if we can get through it, I think we're kind of in the clear. Don't hold me to it, but from what I looked at, like the larger candle is tomorrow, and a lot of them are rotating.
So no, thanks for your comment and good perspective. Good comment. So I need to look it up myself. That's why I brought up that disclaimer. But $1.4 billion worth of HEX being unstaked at the beginning of June, starting tomorrow.
Not $1.4 billion. I think it's 1.4 billion HEX, not $1.4 billion.
No, billion. Okay. 1.4 billion HEX. Yeah. Right.
At this point is way less because that candle, people weren't zooming out or zooming in to see the actual days. So those were divided by a couple of days. So when people have been like, oh, 1.2 billion HEX is coming out, they're looking at like a monthly, or they're not getting the right parameters on Hex Vision to go look at the actual day. And if you go look at the actual day, that's been spread out over the last like week. And we're already through the 31st and we're moving up in price. So like yesterday, it was a big stake. And also maybe some of these stakes aren't, we have 14 days, right? So they're not all coming out the same day. We saw a little bit of nibbles going down, but I think whoever's presenting staking is going to be all right.
$10,000X. Hello, guys.
So, dude.
That sounds great, but we should have a conversation about why and why Hex, or not Hex, but Pulsechain and PulseX can do a 15,000x within a year and a half.
I don't think so.
We've heard of the debates for 10,000x and under. Is there a magic carpet ride price appreciation? And that would be the next step of 15K. But there's going to be Debbie Downers that want to diffuse the conversation and say something conservative, and you shouldn't be talking about that. Or we can enlighten and have fun, and because I'll start it off. Bottom line, Hex did it in a year and a half, and it only started with a community of 20,000. We're starting with 100,000 a community. That's 5x the community right off top. There's just so much. But go ahead.
Would that be worse? If we're starting off with a community, isn't that worse for price appreciation?
Yeah, that's 5x less. What I would say. But as for price correlation though with PHEX and HEX, I don't see that happening because it depends what pool PHEX is going to be in over on Pulsechain, and then what pool HEX is going to be in over on ETH chain. Those are uncorrelated, so the prices aren't going to be even close to each other. The PHEX and EHEX over on Pulsechain, I don't think that's never going to. It may eventually be 1-to-1, but no, I don't. There's going to be too many moving parts.
I want to say something. So this is all psychology, right? And when we talk and hear about TNA,
well, that wasn't psychology.
Well,
that wasn't psychology.
I'm speaking to psychology. So when we look at TNA and when a whole market thinks you're going one way, it's usually going to go the other, right? There's an interesting case study literally happened this last week where the bottom of a bear market in the NFT space, and one of the top NFT projects is called Goblin Town. What the fuck? And it is the ugliest looking art you've ever seen. It was a free mint, and it's currently sitting at about a 3 Ethereum floor. 3 Ethereum. That's like 6,000 US for a free mint. And it was just this dumb, ugly thing. You look at Doge, right? Shouldn't be where it is, but it is. So sometimes people psychologically, NFTs, Bored Ape Yacht Club, the whole world was like, this is the dumbest shit ever. How is this winning? But that's when things do the 15x. That's when people get behind it, because those are the reverse psychology FOMO ramps, where they're like, this is the dumbest shit ever, but I don't want to miss out because this thing could fucking moon. The best thing and the worst thing we have going for us is the most amazing product that we've ever seen in the crypto sphere. But, I say that to say that, like, psychologically, like, you kind of got to get in there, and, like, Richard is doing that, right? And I think perfect storm, bottom of bear market, hockey stick up to the right, let the fudsters hate us. Like, that creates the friction. That creates
right. But most of those are on exchanges. Most of those you're talking about are on exchanges. This is DeFi.
Yeah, but we have a
million coins you're talking about.
Yeah, we got 1 million new people with MetaMask wallets. MetaMask is making $1 million a day on swaps alone. Like, people are getting wallets, so they're now one more step away from clicking over to a new RPC and being on chain. Like, they're close. Now they can connect their credit card. I swear that's why some of these big banks are getting in. They're like, oh, you can connect your credit card? Cool. Watch this. So many people are going to sign up their credit card.
Right. That's like ease of use. It's just like really lazy, really easy. people FOMO. Yeah, that's a technology.
You know, that power of that airdrop, the world's, biggest airdrop, that power for onboarding is going to be crazy. You know, it's just there's going to be people spreading the word for like 3-4 months. Every day people are going to be like, "Hey, did you get your airdrop? Did you get your airdrop? What's Pulsechain?" And then, in order to go ahead and do anything, you're gonna have to buy Pulsechain to do any of that stuff. So that onboarding right there is just gonna be crazy. You start doing research on it, and then bam, you find out how valuable that Pulsechain is. That adoption is gonna be crazy. That's why, like, I can't see nothing other than vertical insanity for like the first 6 months.
You thought student loan debt was bad. Wait until they forgive that, but then make everybody that buys crypto on their credit card eat the bill. Also, if you buy crypto on a credit card, you deserve to get wrecked.
Yeah, there's sure lots and lots of projects that are sprouting up every day. Jeez, we got to get this thing launched.
Let me call Richard real quick and see where he's at. I think he's in Iceland. Maybe I'll have Jeeves bring him a fucking.
Tell him to push the button.
Yeah, the devs. Devs can't get a hold of him. He's in Iceland.
The iPhone's waterproof. I don't believe that.
I truly believe he went to Iceland literally for the documentary just to go to that museum of the biggest PPs in mammals ever.
You're kidding me. There's a dick museum over there?
Isn't there the largest Bitcoin mining in Iceland? Isn't there a big mining operation in Iceland?
It's in Norway. I thought it was up Scandinavia, up over there.
PP mining, apparently.
No, for real. He's put it on his Twitter with a picture of him in a elephant dong or whatever, and it was a museum in Iceland. So it's like he's been talking about his fucking. Excuse me. He's been talking about his pee so much, or whatever. So part of his documentary, it would be freaking hilarious if he had like a freaking 2-minute stint in that museum. Like, it's just ironic.
It's I was going to say no more than 10 minutes of PV conversation. In a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, might as well make the whole movie a PP movie. Here you go.
I wonder what's bigger, his PP or his ego?
Pulsehub.com.
PP. $10,000x. We're blowing.
Papa started it with his name. With his name. No.
All you guys are dreaming, bro. It's gonna launch it next year. By January.
So you're saying he's just playing games?
Playing games hardcore.
Could be right. Could be right. Saying while everything's going down, he's saying this is going to launch, so everybody will buy Hex. It gets green, goes on the charts, gets in everybody's face. Yeah, he could be playing games. You're right. Could be.
Year and a half? Oh my God.
I think it's a stretch, though.
Yep, by January it's going to launch next year.
Well, by January. What are you saying? January or by January?
Next year, January.
I'm willing to bet on
that. Kit Kat, what year is it now?
We're in June.
I rest my case.
In May.
Good one.
Another 7 months, we're launching.
What under on that?
Guarantee you that. Watch and see, guys.
All right, how much you want to bet? This guarantee
Whatever you want to bet.
about 10,000 kickback.
It's so funny how the veterans in this group always smells out the I guarantee people very fast.
I'll bet you
Keep on saying
10,000.
every month. You keep on saying every month it's gonna launch in. It's gonna launch in. You have an excuse.
I got my 10,000 Kit Kats, dude. Do you?
Yeah, me too.
Okay. I'll have my people call your people. We'll set it up.
What do you think is gonna launch in another 2 weeks? You're dreaming, guys.
I'm gonna say 6 weeks tops.
I don't think so. Good luck.
In the GitHub. Where are you coming up with your January? Where are you getting that from?
Yeah, I mean, he could be playing games. You know, he's got the documentary to think about. Excuse me. You know, you heard him in that interview with the director too. They started kicking around like, when would it be better if we could launch this documentary and then launch PulseX and film the launch and do this and do that. So he could have been playing games all along, or it could be real. They are almost they're close. He tried to give a good.
Documentary's gonna be a nothing burger. It'll be all right, but like
It's going to get exposure. If you're going to make something like that and show the success of the last project to compel people that see this documentary, you sell it to Netflix, you sell it to wherever, and you get it close to launch. Doesn't matter when you get it, but they were discussing specifically in a conversation is like, what about these people that see this documentary? You don't want them to see it, and then like Pulsechain launched a year ago. I mean, it doesn't matter, but it'd be good. It'd be better if it didn't happen that way.
Part of the doc is going to be the launch, right? Like 6 months out after the doc, it's still going to be out. So like you want to see the launch in the doc, not create a doc and then launch.
Yeah, well, you could do. They were scheming on that. If you go back and watch the last stream with the director, they were scheming on like how do you do that? Like how do you get them close? Like not exactly like film the launch, but film the development up to and whatever, and leave it open to right before launch.
Nah, that's not a good documentary.
Leave it open to another documentary. What? The sequel? That's not a good way to end it. What?
Personally, I don't think that these are the best.
Kit Kats too. I'll take you on it too.
They're no, also pro, but
just my thoughts. I don't know.
Trust me, guys. It's not going to be launched in 6 weeks.
I don't trust
you
anyone.
You can't tell
that
he's
says,
playing
"Trust
games
me."
every day. Oh, the cold is messed up. Oh, another 2 weeks. Oh, 3 weeks.
Were you around during
Hex is a different story. That's his first coin. Everybody believe him. Now it's his second coin. He made his money. You know what I mean?
Pulsechain's done. That's what you're saying.
You still know a question.
What is it?
Were you around during the Hex launch?
Hex launch? No.
Okay.
You know about coding? How much coding do you know?
Are you trolling me, bro? Trolling me, bro?
What does that have to do with anything? He's around when Hex was.
I'm just getting a feel for his opinion, what it's based on.
Oh, because you were there, you're better, or what?
No,
What's going
I
on?
was no, I was not. No, I was not there, and I'm not better.
Okay.
I'm just getting an idea of his opinion. I'm asking questions.
I was there
So
and
you
I was
didn't.
better.
You're not filling them out.
You know, he's always better.
Oh,
Papa, quit it.
so yeah, I mean, just seeing where he's deriving his opinion from, and if he can expound on why he thinks that, and why he thinks he's playing games is really raising the question of why he
You
thinks
can
that.
tell he's on YouTube. He putting playboys and playgirls and bullshitting around. He's not even talking about PulseX. You know.
Hey, Kit Kat,
He's
can you please
certainly
go get a
scheming all
headset?
angles.
Then he tweet
Kit Kat,
6 months later.
yo, Kit Kat, can you
Yes.
please go get a headset? We're getting a lot of reverb from you.
How is it better now?
You got a headset on?
No, I don't have no headset.
Well, go get some headset.
I don't have one available, sir.
Well, consider before you come in the chat next time you got one, because we're getting a lot of echo from you, and you leave your mic open when people are responding to you. It's very difficult to hear them.
Okay, I'm not gonna leave my mic open.
Until you get a
How is it
headset.
better now?
No, it's not better.
Hold on, give me a minute. Hello?
Hello?
Sounds better?
Well, let's see. Open up your mic.
So far, so good.
You can hear me now, right?
Hello, hello?
Yeah.
Yes,
Hello?
sir. How you doing?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Better.
What I'm saying about Richard Hart, he never talk about Pulsechain, PulseX when it's gonna launch. He's talking about playgirls, playboys, talking about his watches, his Lamborghini. You know, he's not talking about his project.
He does. He talks about it all the time. And it's boring, and it doesn't get new users in. We're already interested. We're already in.
He's also not developing it too.
Yeah, he's not the
No,
developer.
he's talking
He's got
about his biggest diamond. He's
Yeah,
talking about his biggest diamond, his watches. We don't want to hear that bullshit. We want to hear when it's launching it. He tweeted last week or next month.
Software's hard, dude.
Project
Software's hard. Ask Vitalik when sharding's coming out.
Frustrated, man.
We can tell.
Before I used to have hope every day. Oh man, I'm gonna hit 10,000 next. Man, I'm gonna be rich.
I suggest some masturbation.
Oh.
Would you rather
Don't
him
worry.
do it prematurely and something happened and just the thing just
I-
falls all
I-
apart? I mean, would you rather that happen? I mean, what are you worried about? What are you like in a hurry
I
for?
don't need no masturbation. I have sex like 10 times a day.
Just wants to sell.
What's your problem with the
Feel
Playboy?
sorry for him.
Liked one.
Don't have a paper
Give him
heart.
some
You
more.
have a diamond heart. You need a
Any
I'm
diamond.
more?
gonna sacrifice more money.
Please don't do that.
According to Bull, you'll get a chance at the launch price again. Price discovery.
I mean,
Whatever comes, comes. Whatever goes, goes. Who cares? Taking a shot.
yeah, interesting theory. You think he's just waving the bait in front of us, pumping hex, giving us a little bit more anticipation, getting the price to jump when everything's going down a little bit more. I'm echoing in your mic, Mingo.
My friend, the best time to put the
What?
project in. It's the best time for PulseX to launch in.
You
The
think
bear
right now
market
is?
done. Yeah,
No,
the bear market is done.
no, it's not done, son.
Kit Kat.
It is done.
Kit Kat, what's up, brother?
What up, Jaconator?
How you doing, man?
Good. I'm going to Miami, Florida.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just canceled my ticket. I wasn't going to go to overseas. I'm going to Florida instead.
Did you wait for the bear market to end before you booked your trip?
Who cares about me? I already got money. I don't need no Richard Hart project.
Kit Kat, relax, brother. Come on, man.
Come on, dude.
I'm ready, retired, and retarded now. I don't need his project. I will tell him that.
Kit Kat, be nice, Jakey. Come on.
You make me sold all my bullshit coin. What up, Jaconator? What kind of cars do you have for sale? I'm looking for a car.
Kit Kat, come on, brother. We love you, man, but you can't come on here talking crap, brother. I know you're making
No, I'm
money.
not.
God bless you. But you're not the only one. So come on.
I'm not talking crap. Dude, when I put money with Richard Hart, you know, he's playing games, bro. I used to feel for him. It's
Cat,
bullshit.
Cat,
Yeah, it sounds like
Cat, you're rambling too much. Cat, you didn't put money with Richard Hart. You sacrificed it for Pulsechain. So let's get that narrative straight.
I wish Richard
And you're
Hart come
going,
on this line.
and you should follow Richard a little bit more. He said when the code is done. You should follow the GitLab a little bit closer, and then come with real updates. Just don't come
My
with
friend,
future predictions that are not valid.
my friend, I ain't got nothing against Richard Hart. I like the guy a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but you're going on a tangent that is like it's not appreciated.
Okay, just wait 1 other month. You're gonna act like me. 2 months, okay? See what it's gonna do.
Kit Kat, have
Yes,
you been
sir.
drinking tonight?
I don't drink. I don't sleep, man. Thinking about that project.
Why? I thought you don't need Richard Hart.
Next he's having.
Yeah, go ahead, guys. I'm sorry. Disrupting you guys.
No, you're good.
Sorry, and we're ready too.
You're
We're
good,
ready.
Kit Kat. These guys, yeah. These guys are getting upset, man. I don't know why.
Just wait.
Jeez.
You know what? I'm not gonna be upset. Just wait 3 months. You're gonna be like me, guys. Okay?
I don't need you to come in here
You know,
and like be soft rats. Just wait, bro. Relax, Mr. Big Bags. Kit Kat.
Kit Kat, you've always been a positive influence on here, bro. And I know you're making some cash, and God bless you. But at the same time, we still believe in Richard Hart projects, and until we're proven wrong, we always will. So we love you, brother.
okay. I love you too. We're gonna come to Chicago, man.
I'm gonna have some pizza with. I'm gonna go have some pizza with you one day, brother.
Yeah,
I got you 4.
Take it into the DM.
I got you 2 chicks too when you come by.
Not the spaces.
Amen.
DMs.
Amen, Jake. Whoa.
Amen.
Jake the dog.
God bless you. Jake and it, I'm gonna take you to overseas someday with me. Visit you.
It's all good, brother. I'm sorry I couldn't talk to you earlier, bro. I was
Yeah,
just a long day and selling some cards and making some money.
What kind of cars you saw?
Import.
I need a cargo van. Can you give me a cargo van?
Of course.
2010. White.
We have a
How much?
decommissioned ambulance we can sell you.
I got you, bro. Just DM me, bro. I'll take care of you.
Man, I call you, you don't pick up. What do you mean, DM you? Come on, man.
Bro, I was busy today, bro. I told you I was working.
I don't know, busy doing what, man?
Making money.
Do we have any
Yeah,
Pulse,
make your money.
PulseX or Hex questions? This would be the time. Otherwise, I'm going to bed. I'm actually getting pretty good at this.
Amen.
Go ahead. Any Pulse X questions? Go ahead, guys.
There's a hand up.
No questions. Can I talk?
Yeah,
No.
Robbie J got a question.
Everybody's drunk online. Nobody's
Hey
saying
guys,
nothing.
can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? I got my headset on. Can you hear me all right?
Go ahead, Robbie. Loud and
Am I
clear.
echoing?
You're good.
Okay. So I see that this Pulse chain is I see it's a fork of Ethereum. So I'm wondering what my best bet would be. Would it be to buy Hex and then go from there, or just continue from Ethereum?
All right, it's a good question. Not gonna answer, but if you're interested in getting a copy of any of your ERC20s, you will be getting a copy of those. So there's that. It is believed in the Hex community that Hex will have the most liquidity on the Pulse chain side, being that it is a Richard Hart project. There is talk about it coming to parity. We don't really necessarily know at what price, right? That's a good way to secure Hex on both chains. And then if you're interested in getting Pulse or PulseX, it's recommended that you have some dry powder, potentially in USD. You know, there was a narrative in the beginning, almost a year ago, before PulseX, where people were kind of stockpiling Hex to trade for Pulse and PulseX. It's not necessarily recommended because we're not here to dump on our own bags. Though there will be, if you know what you're doing, which I won't be doing, but there will be pre-bridge, there will be a ratio kind of trade that you could do, but it's the people that have been explaining it seem to have very strong spreadsheets and understand they can do a bunch of math pretty quickly. There will be a point where there's pre-bridge. Then once the bridge goes live, you can bridge over all of your ERC20s of Ethereum value and purchase and swap using PulseX, which is the DEX. Does that answer your question?
Well, if you're new on here, real quick, on a follow up, real quick, Robbie, before just real quick, if you're new on here, you shouldn't be swapping nothing in those 24 to 48 hours. Just saying, Hex is not a bad thing to get into. Obviously, 100% you'll get the copy over. But if you're a newbie, with those 24 to 48 hours after he announces mainnet going live, you'll be able to do that. But if you're new in here, I wouldn't do anything. Just being honest, bro.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at PulseX in the future. Obviously, we're not sure when it's going to launch. And I am new to Hex. Mostly, I'm on the ERC and BNB. Those are my main two babies, to be honest with you. So I am new to Hex, but heard about PulseX not too long ago. Obviously, I missed the whole sacrifice phase, so that's pretty much water on the bridge for me. But I would like to, um, join this in the future. So, but I hear what you're saying. Go ahead and keep my ERC20s, swap whenever PulseX goes live. Heard you guys talking about the first 4 months, how it could go under and then go back up forever or whatever. I do plan on hodling for the long haul, but
Quick
just didn't
question.
know what was the best.
Quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
Quick question. You got you holding a hardware wallet?
Yes, I do have a ledger.
You got a ledger? Cool. Okay. You're good to go.
Yeah, I really don't like to do hot wallets unless I'm just getting in and getting out, and that's it.
Honestly, like get some exposure to Hex. And you don't necessarily have to stake it on the Ethereum side, but at least you'll get a copy. you know? I don't know.
Mhm.
I would have some exposure at this point, and then you can it'll just give you more exposure and more options. I know the majority of people here are probably holding X. I'm definitely holding some X. So
Okay. Okay. So get some
and
exposure with
it's on
you.
sale.
Okay. Repeat what you said. Sorry.
Oh, and it's on sale, so no bad time to be buying.
Okay. Cool. Okay. We'll go ahead and get used to Hex. That sounds fun. Um, I've been looking at it for a little bit. I kind of like what I see, but
Robbie, go do me a favor if you're in front of a computer and go to, have you heard of howtopulse.com?
I have not gone to How to Pulse. I don't think I did, anyways. I just went to PulseX not too long ago .com just to check things out and read through
Cool.
it a little bit.
Go to howtopulse.com. It's created by someone in our community. It's got a lot of really great information, a lot more you can read up on. And then also YouTube, right? Like you have your Richard Hart streams, but then there's also other really great Hexicans. You have Huddle Dog, you have Crypto Coffee, Whales Only, um, so on and so forth. So there's some good videos out there as well. And then also this chat is always lit. So come in here, there's some really big brains.
All right, appreciate it. I'll start from there. Thanks, guys.
You got it. Thanks for speaking up.
I have a question. Does proof of stake networks, do they use what they call a mempool? A mempool for the transactions, is that used in a proof of stake network?
I'm not sure. Google it. What'd you say? Is the what
I'm trying. Eric Wall, in the latest debate with Richard, he made the comment that this will be a supernova of minor extracted value. So that's what I really want to ask. But I've been researching MEV, and it looks like it's just all it is a bot out there looking at the transactions on the mempool and trying to make money from the arbitrage. It looks like that's what it is to me. So I'm wondering, in the proof of stake network, who determines what order the transactions are on the block? Is it the validator? Does the validator use the mempool?
Good question. I'm gonna say yes, but are you saying that those arbitrators are arbitrating the price or the intertrading pairs or the actual function of who gets the
in the thing that I read, what they said was the MEV bot will try to arbitrage between two different like Sushi Swap and a Uniswap. They'll find the prices a little different on the two exchanges, so they read transactions off the mempool and see if there's an arbitrage opportunity. That's this what I read. I've heard a lot of things, but this is one thing I read about MEV. I'm just trying to understand. What I really want to know is what did Eric Walls mean when he said this would be a supernova of MEV? He was talking derogatorily about Pulsechain, and then his comment was Pulsechain is going to be a supernova of MEV. And so I'm just wondering, what did he mean by that?
sounded a bit hyperbolic. One technical one here. I thought he was talking about the inner trading pairs and how things would just be broken. Like we won't get like Chainlink Oracle nodes and stuff. So that's just theoretically gonna be a broken token, and those inter trading pairs won't necessarily be there. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, you might have been saying that. Maybe I'm sure I didn't understand it, which is why I'm asking. But
I actually have no idea. I'm just kind of making that up. But I remember the interview, and
yeah,
I also remember, what was Richard's response?
that's a good question. I'll have to wait, Raj, to see his response.
Yeah, I'm sure
I don't remember.
Sure, he dispelled it. But I remember what you were talking about, and it seemed kind of hyperbolic.
Yeah, it did seem kind of. I think you ranting about one thing after another.
We know some chains just won't come over and won't be able to operate over here. Ones with admin keys that decided they don't want to turn it on. I'm sure there's going to be. There almost will be a supernova. There's going to be a lot of things that just kind of like almost like freeze, like sub-zero frozen. They're going to fall to the ground and shatter like ice if they don't come over. But again, that will draw a line in the sand where new things will be able to be developed. And those might be the winning projects that actually like create a more solidified DeFi. So we'll see. Anyway, that's it for me tonight, guys. But that was fun. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Cheers, Mango. Have a good night.